Alrighty, welcome back, my wonderful tome readers, as we delve once again into Mice Tea, specifically Sylvia's route, which is a lot longer than I expected, a lot longer than Julia's route, for sure. And for anyone who is joining us here for the first time, I'll do a brief summary of what's happened in the story thus far. Actually, I should probably start. Margaret, the character we are playing as, was a small, quiet, mousy girl who works at a bookstore and doesn't get enough time off. And the story of the game takes place over 7 days, where she finally has off from work, and she, unfortunately, has some personal work to do in the meantime. Because just before she got this wonderful time off, she found this magical tea. She didn't know it was magical. In fact, the first time she had it, she didn't recognize her body was undergoing change, becoming more mouse-like. Big mouse ears, whiskers, very soft fur. Because she had had it just before bed, and upon waking, what few features she had, she didn't notice until after she had woken up and she was no longer transformed. This route follows her and Sylvia, who's a rich heiress, girly girl type, at least in the beginning. And we find out on our first night of vacation, she does a magic show, which we found because we were encouraged to go find some new thing in the city to enjoy, even if it has to be free, kind of mix things up. But yeah, we find out she does a magic show. Afterward, we go speak to her in the dressing room she has, and share the thermos of tea we had at the time, which transforms us into a mouse again, but her into a giant snake lady, a lamia, for those of you familiar. And also gave her some mild hypnosis abilities, which radically altered our own personality. We have gotten past that point, but it had been where anytime we got complimented on our outfit or our looks, we pretty much became just like her, or at least Margaret's interpretation of Sylvia. But like I said, we moved past that point. The last stream, we covered the event where we go into a deeper hypnotic state with Sylvia, and instead of, instead of being our normal self, or being Peggy, the very Sylvia-like personality, we now have an alter known as Maggie, at least here in the extras menu, where Peggy gives us some advice, and for at least 24 hours a week, we do need to give her proper full control. If we fail to do that, she gets control all the time and has to give us 24 hours, or it will thus flip back, and so on. But yeah, we got through that therapy session, we moved through it, and after, man, we have found out so much about Sylvia. I'm not going to spoil some of the minor details. If they're going to come up, they'll come up. But yeah, I'm surprised it was not spoiled for me, especially with the friends who had introduced me to this game. At least my streamer friends who had played this game on stream in a different route. Yeah, now we're in the midst of a relationship with Sylvia. She has done her own self-hypnosis to become actually a bit more like us, because she also respects us, looks up to us and our work ethic and what have you. So through self-hypnosis, she's become a bit more calm, less girl, brash, and seemingly so full of herself, and be more quiet and helpful. And we have started a relationship, which is what we ended on our first night together, which, while we could not show the scenes, started with a little bit of hypnosis to ensure that whatever Margaret had said was completely the truth. No lies and nothing held back. It's a very... It's a relationship trope. I don't know how I forgot the relationship trope I recently came across on Tumblr of like a princess and her knight. but it's pretty much a bottom dom position for the princess rather than what apparently so many people think should be the knight is doming. It's like, no. It's like this princess is taking it, she's ordering everything that happens. It's like you are her knight. The power dynamic does not change. Just the type of commands. But yes, we're going to continue through this route of Sylvia. I'll be honest, I don't fully like this, what I call the gray personality for her, because normally everyone's a text box, or at least their name tag on the text box, matches a color for them. Margaret is red, Felix is blue, Gavin is green, Sylvia is yellow. But when she's in this personality, it becomes gray. And it hurts me. Because, yeah, gray, boring, dull, what have you, but it's also just like the color, some of the personality itself is sucked out of her. And I don't vibe with that too much. Because there's nothing wrong with who she was, aside from a few small quirks, but she shouldn't have to, like, change everything about herself to be respectful. She could have changed, she could have worked on a few smaller quirks, and still been just fine as a person. I'm sure we've all had a coworker or something who does something to annoy us, but would it really be worth the only way to change them is completely change who they were? So it just doesn't feel right. And I hope we get to a point where she does not have to be gray to be less of the screw-up she was before. Always calling off for personal reasons, pretending to be sick, stuff like that. So yeah, we're going to continue with that. Apologies in advance for my voice. I just woke up like 40 minutes ago, and so I had to kind of rush my routine, so I've not had all of my drink today. Perfect. But yep, we've got content warning up top. Anyone late joining us, please do check that. Obvious things being sexual themes, hypnosis, personality swapping, but also the way I read some of the descriptions, it could come across as body horror. Sorry, nose got stuck there for a second. Might come across as body horror, the way the game describes some of the transformations, and depending on the scene, it might actually show some of them as well. And I know whether it's just squicks people or if it's a full-on, it's like, I can't handle it, it is better to be safe than sorry and put it as proper body horror. So if you need to step out because any of this is too much, or perhaps you're watching at work, I do not blame you. I hope you come back for the VOD proper, because this is a very well-written game. I love how much work they put into it. Hell, I expect this to be a far shorter route, just because I'd done another route in successfully 4 hours of streaming, and it had far many more little side endings that could have been that we collected along the end. But that's enough of that. Back into Skin the Game just after for this route. First, sexual liaison with Sylvia, doing a lot of hypnosis as well as her being a snake lady, and one more description, just because it might come up. On that snake lady form, apparently she has 2 penises. And in the description of the scene, both of them were utilized. I will leave it at that. Usually, my bed's adequate for nights when I'm fortunate enough to have someone over. It's not a queen, but I'm short, and as long as the other person doesn't hog the bed, it's generally big enough for 2. If Sylvia's coils hadn't been so comfortable, she would have been the biggest challenge it's faced yet. Instead, I was cradled in her body all night long, like I was in the smoothest, softest hammock in the world. My neck and back have never felt better after a night's rest, though personally I wonder about the stability of the bed frame after all that. Like, she gains some weight due to all that snakiness, right? It's longer than the rest of the human body she has left. And it's all muscle, because that's what snakes are. It's all muscle. Oh, hey. I mean, all the important bits are covered. When I awaken, I'm treated to the sight of Sylvia's grinning face a foot away from mine. Oh boy, I'm kind of out of practice for Sylvia's voice. Gotta go a little bit Southern Belle, Southern Belle. Oh, you precious, precious. What was the other? What was the other phrase I do? Da, 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 da. Southern Belle. God be with you. It is something Catholic like that. There you are, sleepyhead. Are you gonna use that joke all the time from now on? If you don't think it's funny when Sylvia elongates her S's, she sticks her tongue out and doesn't have to lean forward an inch for it to tickle my ear and brush against my hair. Hey, that tickles. I bet it does. Wriggle to avoid her, but I'm wound too tightly in her coils. Hey, quit it. You have to say it's funny. Tips of her tongue vibrate like plucked guitar strings each time she sibilates, if that's the way to pronounce it, which just makes it tickle more. Fine, you're hilarious. I've never heard a better joke in my life. She retracts her tongue, puts on an even more smug smile. That's what I thought. Takes a few moments to calm my breathing as I stare into her eyes, seeing her reptilian pupils for the first time in the morning light. They are breathtaking. But I don't want to give her too many compliments this early in the morning. Her tone makes me take a closer look at her posture. Wait, are you back to spicy apple, Sylvia? Oh, for sure. I thought I'd reset when I woke up. I haven't gotten to be with you yet in this personality. Plus, being in Honey Peaches mode is kind of a drag after a while. I don't know how you do it. You mean, how do I act like that without being tired all the time? Yeah, totally. I yawn. Maybe between the two of us, we can figure that out. She chuckles and I can feel vibrations travel down the length of her tail. Which is really quite something. Because to get a comfortable curve all the way out here, it's got to go a ways to come out from this direction. Coil, coil, coil. Oh, wait. Wait, it turns back? Wait, where? Because this is coming around here. But this lump is some... I guess... Boo, boo, boo. Even though this feels like it implies it's kind of wrapped around here. Oh, whatever. I'm not going to figure out. It's hard. It's been far too long since I've gotten to share this bed with someone. I almost miss this part more than the actual sex. Oh yeah? What parts? Probably the warmth most of all. I sleep pretty cold, so it's always reassuring to be next to a nice, warm body in the morning. I just really like being held in the morning. When I have someone's arms around me, it feels like all my worries can't be that bad. Sylvia grins at this. So, you're saying you want a hug? Sure, if you don't mind. 1 sec. Sorry, one nostril kept trying to get plugged up out of nowhere. She narrows her eyes while her chin rests on both hands. You know, I'm already hugging you, right? Giggle. Guess you have more ways to do that now. Which leaves my hands free to play with you more. Like this. She reaches up to stroke my mink ears, and they crackle as the soft fur is touched for the first time. Hey, you were gonna stop tickling me. Oh, this? This isn't tickling. This is just playing with my prey. She shifts up and starts to nibble on my ear. My tail doubles in size as I convulse in laughter. Careful with those. We don't know if you have venom in them. I thought we already figured out I'm a constrictor. She squeezes me more, which just makes it that much harder to breathe. This mink is so tasty. Nom 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 nom. She moves from the base of my ear to the tip as her fangs caress the soft fur on the inside. Uncle, uncle! She subjects me to only a few more seconds of playful torment before we both collapse in a pile. It's already a little late, but we both treat ourselves to another half hour of rest. Sylvia has her routine to get through, though. She slides off the bed, and I'm lowered on the mattress like a baby into a cradle. I have my tail in front of me and snuggle it like a body pillow as I hear Sylvia slither around my apartment for another 30 minutes. She's in the bathroom when I decide my hunger has overtaken my desire to be lazy. I get up from my bed and my tail slides off the mattress a moment later. Pull some pajamas on, tiptoe out into the kitchen where I plan on surprising her with some breakfast. Jeez! Bathroom door slams open and Sylvia rushes out. I wonder if this is going to be visible in the little viewer thing. Oh my god, Margaret, are you... Oh, you found it. What the heck is that? I got up earlier feeling kind of dry, so I came out to the kitchen to get a glass of water. That's when I noticed my skin felt a little loose. Oh my gosh, you shed your skin? The top layer, yeah. You just left it here? I had to reapply my makeup. It all came off with the rest. Then I did my hair and tear my eyes from the translucent effigy of Sylvia to look back at her. Wait. I notice a tinge to her shed skin. Is this your natural skin tone? Sylvia laughs. God, you get on my case for dyeing my hair next? You're not a natural blonde? No, but thanks for telling me how well I'm doing with my roots. I look back at her skin. Gosh, that's eerie. Should we do something with it? I was gonna clean it up. How does it even stay up like this? Creep back over and poke with a hesitant finger. It collapses into Oh, well, that should make it easier. I'll throw it away before I leave for work. Oh, right, you have a shift. No, let's walk back. How and where is she gonna throw it away? She is a huge snake lady. Like, just massive. Even if it crumples up, it had enough thickness to be able to stand up. Even if it took only a poke to, like, make it collapse. It needs a, like, minimum amount of thickness for that. Just... Anyway. Ooh, excuse me. Yeah. I'll probably relax like this and turn back to Honey Peach then. I'll need to be human for work anyway. Are there any plans you have for work? She bites her lip with one of her fangs. Oh, I mean, I guess I thought about maybe trying to help Felix. I'm not sure how I'd handle that, though. It's tough to imagine I could figure out a way to tell him I can turn to a snake with hypnotic powers. Yeah, that's a lot to dump on him at once. Totally. But, maybe after a few days of me acting differently, he'll be curious about what I did to change. Maybe if he sees how you've changed, too, we could pass it off as that, I don't know, visualization exercises before we actually do it. I guess we could. I mean, if it helps in the way you think it might, it could help turn the store around. For sure. I just want to make things easier for you and him. I, I guess that's as good a reason as any. Nothing else has worked up to this point after all, and I've gotten close to quitting a few times. As long as you think it would be good for him too, and not just the store. Sylvia's eyes fill with a pity I've never seen from her. Oh my God, Margaret, he was so helpless yesterday. He was like a little puppy. More like a kitten, but okay. I felt so bad for him. I seriously don't know how much longer he can last like this. I feel like he's gonna crack any minute. Lean back. Jeez, I've never heard you talk that way about anyone. Hey, Baringo, welcome, welcome. I hope you're ready for more snaky... I mixed the words up there. I was trying to say sexy snake lady. But yeah, we are back with hopefully the last one for Sylvia's round. It's gonna be long, but I've got time. I don't have work for another 6.5 hours, and I should hope I don't need that much to get through what's left of Sylvia's route. Yeah, good to see you, and hope you are enjoying your morning, Baringo. It's true, though. I feel like I just have to help him, you know? If I can really fix his issues and don't end up doing anything before it's too late, She holds her arms. I don't know if I can live with myself. Wow. Well, if there's any way I can help you with that, let me know. It's the least I can do for my, I realize I don't know if I'm prepared to say what I intend. Girlfriend? Oh, yeah, if that's what you thought you might want to be. For sure. I mean, I told you I've never been so close with someone. It'd be pretty silly to say that and not call you that. Oh, good, that's actually reassuring. Plus, I'll need a Mink to keep this stake in check if I start using my powers for evil. Return. Oh, really? And how would I do that? I think they just sort of nip them on the neck with their fangs. Oh, you mean these fangs? Yeah. Like this? Yes, quite the morning indeed. Both for these snakelies, and hopefully your own has not been too horrible. Hopefully it's more of a case of just a lot happening at once rather than something big happening. It's always preferable in my book for sure. Okay. I pounce forward and nibble on Sylvia's neck to enact my revenge for earlier this morning. To which she shrieks with laughter, and her tail curls around my legs while my own embraces her lower back. I totally forgot about breakfast. Margaret, you can't hang that up. That's winter weight cashmere. Huh? What? Hopefully stuff like the contents of this route will happen soon. I'm not sure how to read that. Let's see. You're planning some hypnotherapy, Baringo? Or finding a snaky girlfriend who will wrap themselves around you? Because I can absolutely agree with the second one. Maybe a little less literally on the snaky part, but girl, wrap around me in the warm morning, yeah, I'd appreciate the hell out of that. You need to fold sweaters like that. You can't stretch... Sorry, you'll stretch them out if you hang them up. Oh, okay. Drop the hanger on by bed and set the sweater down. It would have killed us to get some cedar hangers or something. Where'd you get all these? Free from the dry cleaners? Peggy, you know exactly where I got these. I just want you to admit it. How do you even know all this stuff about fashion anyway? You don't have any more experience than I do. You picked up more from those women's magazines than you realize, dear. And a lot of it's common sense when you stop to think about things. Look at the pile of clothes Sylvia sent over by courier when she got back to her apartment. I've put away most of it, but it was incredibly daunting once everything was unpacked. Oh, hey, Max saying, welcome, welcome. No worries, doing some dishes are important. Branko with the no sneeze planned, but. Yeah, the debate of snooties aside, plenty of civic. Love that euphemism. That particular one probably doesn't fit the whole snake lady transformation thing, unless the stories of King Arthur and his knights or the Grail has a lot more kinky stuff than I imagined. I'm not the one who needs the practice, am I? And besides, you need to be reacquainted with all your new options, don't you? You'll be the one wearing them for the most part. At least until the end of the week, if I choose to turn all the way back. Frown as I run my hand from my waist to my thighs. Don't decide on that just yet, will you? After all, I'd say you have more clothing that fits you now than ever before. Squirrel transformation thing? Yeah. Well, Mink? Wait, is Mink closer to squirrels than mice? I always assumed they were closer to, like, ferrets, of the three, like, big rodents. Oh, no, I for sure doubt it's the same girl. I was more referring to, like, sexual misadventures with snake ladies and such. Minks are stoats. Then yeah, probably closer to ferrets than either mice or squirrels. Big stretch. Ooh. Let's see, I don't want to admit she's right about the not having more clothes now. Sorry, have more clothes now than before. Yeah, but still, I feel kind of ostentatious in this body. But you look so gorgeous like this, and I'm sure you realize Sylvia enjoys it too. Maxing with the I'm just saying, as Tom Lehrer said, when correctly viewed, anything is lewd. I tell you things about Peter Pan, the Wizard of Oz, there's a dirty one. Not familiar with that song, but thank you for including the music note emote, so I could definitely, well, potentially look it up later. We'll see how much time I have before work. Get a few butterflies think back about how she's looked at me and touched me since last afternoon. Well, I'll have to decide before I start working again. I don't know if I want to shove these things in Felix's face next time I see him. This feels like foreshadowing. Like, maybe it's just like a lucky pervert moment. Felix falls face first into our chest, but I feel like this is just like flagged the point where they're gonna get a face full of it one way or another. Wait, did Peter get censored for you, Barango? Because I still see it. Maybe accidentally put it on a blacklist or something due to, like, bots. I mean, I think I can understand Pound Cake being auto-censored. I definitely did not do that manually because of, well, the connotations of pounding something, but also cake has become very popular slang for a butt, or at least a very well-shaped butt. So pounding cake is definitely sexual slang nowadays, whether we want it to be or not. Yeah, if you're trying to make a line with Peter, maybe just toss Pan after it with some capital letters. Maybe that'll fix it. I should take my sip first. Yep, loud again, but yeah, it seems Pound Cake is being censored. Don't worry, we're not nearly that tall, even with the new heels. And I thought it was bad when my old boyfriends made fun of my height. Just then, phone pings from my dresser. Picked up to see a text from Sylvia. Oh yes, pound cake is also delicious. But also, I don't mean this as an insult, but just plain enough of flavor, you can add whatever you want to it. Chocolate, sliced fruits, whatever you want. Hey, Margaret, how are things going? Hey, just fine. Already put most of my clothes away. That sounds about right. So, do you think you could maybe come into the bookstore? What for? I think I might try something today with Felix. Already? Yeah, I know he's really curious about what I did. I think he's at his wit's end with the store. If he sees what happened to you, I bet he'd go through with it today. If you're okay with that. Look over at the remaining pile of clothes and do some calculations. If I left here in 30 minutes, would that be cool? Sure. See you then. Heart, 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 heart. Sylvia would be the type of person to do a bunch of heart emojis, huh? Oh, we'll see if they're hatching. Considering this hypnosis is coming about for, like, just being overworked, it might not hit there immediately. Though actually, with all the scenes that are left in this route, it could absolutely go like three-way territory. Even if it's just like one of the scenes, like, well, now I gotta expect that. Thanks for bringing that up, Burrico. Not actually like upset or anything. It's just the stuff he knows is affecting. Set the phone down. Turn back to my closet. Oh, looks like Felix is gonna see me with these boobs anyway. That was Sylvia asking if we kiss. I read it too. Right? Do you think we can put it all away in 20 minutes? Yes. I suppose a little hand holding might be in order. But first we need to figure out what you're gonna wear. Jeez, you think we can go with something a little more professional this time? I thought you might say something like that. Well, you were such a brave little girl yesterday. I should probably give you a break. We still want you to look confident for him, of course. Oh, yeah, I definitely want to look better than he's ever seen me. Just, under wraps. Certainly. I think I have something that'll suit our needs. Smash cut to... we did wear this the other day. Oh, actually, no, that was the other route. Perfect. Approached the bookstore earlier than I'd promised Sylvia. Not arguing myself about what to wear. Sped things up considerably. Hopes that Peggy was nice enough to let me out of the house in an outfit that won't give Felix a heart attack. Yes, soon we will see what the four get up to. I didn't know right-click would do that. I also just right-clicked by accident. Anyone I know would still need to double-take to recognize me, but it's more eye-catching than evocative. Yeah, the hair is definitely going to be the biggest thing. So actually, now that I know I can do this, yeah, I want to save there, just so I don't lose track of anything. But yeah, this hair versus that hair, vastly different, especially with how it partially covers their face. So I can see people getting a little confused. So, here we are. Yes, it's quite the adventure getting here. Train ride's always a thrill. Right. So, I'll just tell you now, we're not going to pull the same stunt we did on Gavin. He's going to know it's me, okay? That's the whole point, isn't it? Yeah, I just can't, lean on you too much. Word, I'll bite your poor boss if you let me out of my cage. No, I just don't want to spook him. Feel we're already walking a thin line with him. Meanwhile, motorists are just angry because she's standing in the middle of a crosswalk. But don't worry, Maggie. You're in charge here. I won't come out unless you ask. Well, sure, but I was wondering if I could maybe use a little bit of your confidence. When I ask for it, that is. Use my words in your voice? That's not a bad way of putting it. So, you think you won't mind Serrano did burger racking for me if I need it? This feels like a literary reference I should get, but I'm not that well read. Brenna, I'm not sure what you mean by grail sharpening, considering I thought it was a particular innuendo earlier. Though I think that might also be a case of I'm not as literary read as I thought I was. My pleasure, Christina. Take a moment to smooth out my blouse and head inside. Wait, is this fish here new? I don't remember that design being there before. Is there a way to... Yeah, that's cute. Find Felix behind the register when I enter. Hi, can I help? Oh, Margaret, I didn't... Wait, is that you? Hi, I thought I'd check up on the store while I was downtown, so here I am. He can't stop himself from staring. That me. Since when did you have it in your hair? Yeah, I kind of went all out. Sylvia helped me with that. Just then, Sylvia appears on the other side of the store. Oh. That is a nice sweater dress. Though it took me a second to figure out what was going on with the collar, but I guess it buttons down around that side. Yeah, it's cute. One sec. Oh, that was a massive coughing fit. I was trying to save both of your poor ears. Thank you for the chill, though. I think a warm drink probably would have been better. Not sure what triggered that at all. I think my nose is just trying to drain down the back of my throat out of nowhere. Is the book club thing broken? I'll have to fix that later. Oh, wait, no, I turned it off for this string. That's right. Hi, Margaret. How are you? Oh. You'd planned to make it look like my visit wasn't premeditated. Great, thanks. I just finished shocking Felix with the results of our shopping trip. Oh yeah, only the throwable side. Just a little blurb about a book. Captions, what's happening? Yeah, it's weird when suddenly the caption just doesn't read a sentence. Oh, the magazine has a description for, let's see. Yeah, Serrano's a literary character named, so he's title character, who is known for his ugly face, untracked nose, and deadly sharp cutting wit. You have not read it, but he helped another character woo someone by giving him all the right words to say. Again, not certain as you haven't read it yet, but think the plot is that he was in love with the growing question himself. In the end, she finds out he was the one with sweet words. Aww. Okay, then I've probably heard that story, because it does seem familiar. And if it's not that story, it's probably just, like a romantic trope that I've come across a couple times. But that is adorable. Just like, I look like a hideous beast, but I know all the perfect words, young sir. Use them. But yeah, I think I've at least heard that book just to look up the origin of that trope. I used to do that a lot. Yeah. But no, I think my throat should be good to continue here. We'll just do another sippy first. Great, thanks. I just finished shocking Felix with the results of our shopping trip, which is a half-truth. You two went shopping together? Okay, wait, I gotta go back so I can see that animation again. Boop, boop. Double take. Oh, yes. We both went to Breckenridge and got Margaret a bunch of new stuff. Isn't it super cute? I can't tell if Felix notices my new figure, just assumes I'm drawing attention to it for the first time. Almost all of my boyfriends never point out when I gained or lost weight. I can never tell if guys just don't notice this stuff or are attempting to be tactful. Wow, it looks really nice. Yep, I kept telling her to indulge herself. Guess she just needed the break as an excuse. Yep, let me take care of this customer, okay? She dutifully shuffles off to a customer just out of earshot. Felix pays attention to the exact moment she walks beyond that threshold. You really went clothes shopping with Sylvia? Yeah, didn't keep this outfit under wraps. Sorry, I was slipping to the Sylvia accent. Yeah, I didn't keep this outfit under wraps for 5 years to spring on you today. Oh, that's a very good way for a schlock mercenary to reference it. I think he's pulling a burger rack. So if anyone is interested in looking that up, they go, oh, that. Let's see. Right. Looks over to where Sylvia's working. I guess I didn't know that you two... didn't know that you two hung out outside of work. Yeah, we actually ran into each other after one of our shifts. We got to talking and hashed out a lot of stuff, and we're best buds now. Another half true, because you're not just best buds now. But technically, yeah, you ran into her after her magic show, and then you've talked and hashed out a lot of stuff since then. Our relationship is yet another thing we want to roll out slowly. Really? Totally. I even let her know my frustrations about her work ethic, and she said she'll be a lot more diligent from now on. Felix turns back to Sylvia. Her customer is in a rapt attention as he listens to her spouting off information. It's like he's a devoted pupil in front of his favorite teacher. Is that why she's been like this these last couple of days? Like what? She's been really motivated or something. Kind of makes me wonder what she was doing before, but she's just really different. Good different? For the most part, yeah. He gives the statement a more thorough assessment. Actually, she's definitely been better. Like, really attentive. Was it something you said to her? Well, I did say a few things that were a little eye-opening for her. Again, half-truths. But no, I think this is mostly stuff she did for herself. What sort of stuff? Oh, I guess you can call them visualization exercises if you wanted. We determined Sylvia's initial idea was better than anything else we could come up with. This is all from visualization exercises. He isn't looking. The customer appears with a stack of books. A very slight Scottish feel, not just because the plaid, but also the hair tied like so. That is very common hairdo when I go to the, actually, I forget what they call it. There's pretty much a Scottish-themed weekend for the Ren Fair I go to every summer. I'll have these, please. Oh, of course. Scans all the books and raises his eyebrow after each one. Our Sylvia help you pick all these out? Oh, yes. She was super helpful. Got me all set up for my woodworking project. Felix is too flustered to ask exactly how she did that. Oh, yes, he looks like he's training up for a caber toss. The customer pays for his purchase, takes the overstuffed bag Felix hands him. Thanks for all your help. He waves as he leaves the store. It wasn't quite hairy enough, in my opinion, showing off legs like that. But artistic license. Waves as he leaves the store. Felix looks like he swallowed a live fish whole. Yeah, they work pretty well. So, are you going to ask me what I'm doing here on my week off? Oh, right, yes, of course. I Just thought I'd come back halfway through my vacation, see how things were holding up without me. Oh, they're, fine. I'm making some progress with the hiring process. Interviewed anyone yet? Not in person, no. So you're doing phone interviews then? They're preliminary interviews. On the phone. Or email. Need me to interject here? Oh, she's having a hard time. We don't need to kick Molly's down. Well, it sounds like you got started at least. Yeah, thanks. And he stews for a while, probably wondering if he should allow himself off the hook that easily. Yeah, sorry, I told you I'd have someone already hired by the time you get back, and maybe I still will, but there might be at least some candidates when you get back. I might have underestimated how hard it'd be to set up interviews with just me here. Sort of thought the desperation from you not being here would kickstart things, but... Are you sure you're going to be alright? He has to actually think about his answer. I hope so. I don't know. I've just been really stressed lately, and maybe should have gotten myself into a better space before I promised so much. How long would it take you to get to that space? Maybe too long. I think that's why I didn't wait for that. Before I can follow up with another question, a customer approaches the counter. Hey, I didn't see any copies of the latest Zyvern for sale. Don't you have it? I'm sorry, which book was that? Customer snorts. Zyvern? It's probably the most popular fantasy series in the country. Do you seriously not know it? Right, of course. Sorry, I forgot the title. And you work at this bookstore? He scoffs under his breath. Think I might need your help here? Of course, dear. Just open your mouth and I'll have something for you to say. Slide between Felix and the customer. Normally in this situation, I'd try ending the interaction as quickly as possible while making the customer feel as though they got their way. This time, Peggy digs through my memories to provide all the ammunition I'll need. So you're a fan of the series? Yeah. Why, do you think you're a fan? Guys like this are too easy to bait. This time I'm going to actually do something about it. Well, I know a little bit about the series, sure. Oh, really? Like who the mastermind behind the worm insurrection is? Fucking gatekeeper. Snatched the retort from the tip of my tongue, but currently the narrative revealed the Rumarian Vizier as the sensible instigator of the plot. But I think most real fans have realized that's a red herring. I'm sure a connoisseur like you knows Seneschal Western wore a signet ring, with the telltale mark of the asp in the first book, and has been conveniently absent during most of the raids. To my satisfaction, his leering smirk disappears instantly. Of course. I think I'm about to ease off and I'm compelled to say more. Of course, there's more clues in the latest book to corroborate the theory. I'm sure you're itching to read it and discover them. My face and ears are growing so hot with excitement that I feel I'm in the middle of another transformation. Curious that you've been waiting 3 weeks after the release of the book to pick it up, though. I'd assume a big fan like you would have picked it up day one. The look on his face is delicious. I lament every time I've opted not to push back in the past. Oh, it's actually just a backup copy. Traveling for an event and left it at home and wanted to have one to read while I'm out. I'm sure you'll make do with the free ebook version they include with each copy. You do know how to get that on your phone, Oh, yeah, of course. I'll just read that one that I have. I know it's a pale imitation, of course. Nothing quite like that hard copy you snuggle up with. I'm sure you're itching to get back home with it and reread it for all those tidbits I mentioned. Yeah, I certainly will. Thanks for your help. In fact, he thanked me for demolishing him, makes everything all the more sweet. Ta-ta! He slinks out of the store, clutching the front of his jacket. My high begins to dissipate as the door closes behind him. But the laughter in our hearts, that will last forever. Gosh, I can't believe I actually did that. I felt like I was 5 steps ahead of him the whole time. And you'll get even better with practice. Assuming you're interested in doing it again. Maybe I am. I think you've earned yourself another hour with the controls this week. I turned back to see a stunned Felix. Looks like the fish inside his stomach has had babies. What was that? Oh, that? Oh, no, I just think the break has been good for me. I suppose those visualization exercises I did with Sylvia helped too. You did them too? Oh, sorry, didn't I mention that? That's what Sylvia and I had been up to. Besides shopping, of course. What are these things? Just little exercise to help with things we're working on. I'm trying to improve my confidence while Sylvia's working on her diligence. I think it's working pretty well for us. I've never seen you like that before. Sure, you've de-escalated tons of situations, but I've never seen you push back like that. I mean, is it a tulpa, though? Because there is some... what is it? Not instinct, but there seems to be some actual, thinking going on. The way that I've seen, other people talk about tulpas, it doesn't have as much personality, so much that feels like, it's like, what would they do in this situation? Now, I guess most of the tulpas I've read about are just, recreations of a favorite character. Like the one 4chan one of a Bridget Guilty Gear tulpa is just turning them trans. That's yeah. This altar does not feel quite like the descriptions, despite the narrative ability to also take over the body, on particular terms, of course. But, I'm familiar with what a tulpa is. It's just this one in particular, it just feels different from how those are written. I think it's more of a... I think maybe the writers are pulling more from, multiple personality disorder type things than the creation of tulpas. But I could be wrong. Regardless, let's see. I read this one. I just thought I could stand to stick up for myself more often. I mean, we all have things we can improve on. At least that's what I think. Felix doesn't allow himself to wonder if I'm asking leading questions. I guess I can't argue that. He mulls over what he's comfortable asking next. So, you only started these exercises since you began your break? Yeah, both of us started then. How long does it take? Just 1 or 2 sessions. I think they're less than 30 minutes, usually. Only that long? Yeah, it mostly helps you access what you already have inside you. Once you unlock that, you're all set. I can't decide if he looks more intrigued or uneasy. So is there, class or something? Oh, Sylvia just did it for both of us. She knows the method way better than me. Could I mean, do you think she'd do it for me? Of course, I'm sure she'd be happy to help. I think of calling Sylvia over, but feel any more pushing will scare him away like a skittish cat. There we go, the cat references. Ringo saying in your Twitter days, one of your friends made what she called a tulpa that went rogue, and then more typical plurality stuff happened with the squiddy little fellow. Considering your previous use of that little emoji in the stream, I have assumptions to make, which we will not get into. But it's perfect time for sippy. Alright. First drink ready. Let me just pop my water. Alright, yep, that's all good. Hey, Sylvia. Oh, that was about Felix. Okay. That is very accurate. She walks over from cleaning up shelves on the far side of the store. Yeah, Felix. Margaret here says she did those same exercises you did. Oh, yeah. Did you say they were working for her? I'm pretty sure they are. She also said, yeah, she also said something about you guiding the sessions. Oh, yeah. I did it for her 2 days ago. And you can do it with anyone? I'm pretty sure. Sylvia avoids the same temptation I did and waits patiently for Felix to make the next move. Yeah, very fair. Barango, it's their choice to share, not yours. Though it definitely sounds like a story. Like, literally, a rogue Tulpa causing things to happen. Definitely sounds like the premise of a story. After several silent seconds, he obliges. Do you suppose you could do it for me? I'd love to. All we need is a nice, quiet spot in half an hour. We'd even do it right now in the back room if you wanted. Which, phrasing, just consider, like, any other customers half hearing this conversation. It's like, whoa, ma'am. That is your boss. God damn. Oh, well, I mean, we don't have anyone else watching the floor right now. I could keep an eye on things while you do it. But I just sent you on a vacation. I can't have you work today. Trust me, I'd rather come back to the store once you've done the exercises. Just have me come in an hour late next week. Are you sure? Definitely. I'll keep things nice and quiet out here. I have the feeling Felix thinks this is a setup somewhere in the back of his mind, but he's just too intrigued by the offer. Then I guess we can try it. Perfect. I'll set up some chairs. Wait, why are we back here too? Watch the floor. Follow Sylvia. She leads Felix to the back room. She pulls out 2 folding chairs and sets them facing each other in the middle of the office space. Just sit down here and I'll be in this one. Okay. Okay, so it's... Actually, I guess there's a chance it's not an illicit scene. Because I do also just have content notices up. Yeah, this scene will contain hypnotism and stress about gender identity. So yeah, Felicia's egg is getting cracked wide open, it sounds like. Yes, I would like to continue. Okay. Ooh. Okay, I'm going to need to drink some water before this, if I'm going to go into hypno voice. Gonna be a little rough, but I think I can do it. They both sit down while I hover near the door. I'll keep an ear out for the front door in case someone comes in. She can help out to make sure I'm doing it right, too. Sylvia pulls the thermos out from her purse. So the process is pretty straightforward. I'm just going to tell you to relax and clear your thoughts. Then I'm going to ask you some questions about what you want and your resolve to follow through. Simple. That sounds easy enough? For sure. Oh, one thing I should mention is that it's technically a form of hypnotism. Oh, shit, accidentally. It's what? Just that it's a relaxation technique for focusing attention towards specific goals and increasing your suggestibility for achieving them. Wait, you hypnotized Margaret? And herself, too? Haven't you heard of hypnotherapy for breaking bad habits? Alright, I guess so. What are you going to make me do? Only what you tell me you want to do. That's the first thing I do once I relax you. I'll ask you what you want to change. Everything we do is going to be directed by you. I still would like your consent before helping you, though. Felix squirms in his seat and eyes the door. I have the feeling if anything about the afternoon had been different, he wouldn't be going through with it. As long as you promise not to change anything about me, I don't want to. Of course. Okay, let me take a drink before we start. The tea helps me get in the right headspace. She downs half the thermos as delicately as she can. It doesn't prevent him from giving her a quizzical look. Sorry, I was a little thirstier than I thought. She crosses her ankles and tucks them behind the leg of the chair. I wonder if she intends to make their fusion to a tail more comfortable. So we don't need a pocket watch or a spinning spiral or anything. We just need you to relax. And the way you're going to relax is to listen to my voice and look at my eyes. Can you do that for me? Sure. Okay. Now I want you to look at me and feel yourself relax. Can you feel your feet on the floor? Yes. Then relax your feet and legs. The floor is there to support them. See him release a portion of the tension in his body. It doesn't amount to all that much. Can you feel your hands on your lap? I can. Then relax your hands, arms, and shoulders. Your lap's there to support them. A little more stress sloughs off him like sheets of snow off a roof. Can you feel your seat on the chair? Sure. Then relax the rest of your body. The chair's there to support the rest of you. At last, I see his body go slack. He loosens every muscle in his body that isn't keeping him upright. Sylvia smiles and looks over at me. The room seems to dim around her while her eyes stay just as brilliant. And despite knowing how this is going to go from the other route, from their perspective, this is definitely like just a little bit force fem. Like just a little bit, because the hypnosis. Like, we already know this is who Felicia is. But, like, not knowing going into that, just that they're an egg about to be cracked, it's like, this definitely has some force fem vibes. Alright. Margaret, spin around in a circle for me, please. Agreed, Maxting. Agreed. Twirl in a circle with no volition of my own, as if a dancing partner had spun me around. When my hair and scarf settle, I see Sylvia grinning even wider. Okay, let's begin. We've already got you relaxed, but we have deeper to go. As we descend, we want to focus on you, not on me. Don't think about my appearance at all. There's nothing here except my eyes and my voice. Just totally ignore the rest of me. Will you do that? I will. Excellent. Her feet reach back further behind her until her ankles are wrapped around the chair's back legs. Imagine my voice like a cradle of vines. Sink into it. Let it suspend you. You're on top of a canopy of trees. The sun is shining on you. We're going to go beneath that canopy, into the forest of your thoughts. Sorry, I don't want to break the mood with a cough. But first, let's ground you. What is your name? Felix Banks. How old are you? 29. Where do you live? New Greenshire. And what do you do for a living? I own Barlow's books. She nods as I hear tinkling scales appear on her bare legs.
Thank you for being honest. Will you be honest with me for the rest of the session? Yes. Thank you. Let's sink down into that forest. My voice is lowering you down past the very top of the trees. Her legs that were merely pressed together begin to merge. Down past the canopy we go, sinking through the leaves as they rustle past you. Feel them brush against your sides as we pass them. Felix shudders as though he feels their edges tickle his skin. We've passed the leaves now, falling lower and lower. The light is fading away, obscured by every layer of branches we descend beneath. Dappled light proceeds until it's nothing but pinpricks. One by one, those points of light disappear like lamps being switched off. Fewer and fewer, bringing you closer to total blackout. Faint scraping of dust on linoleum evidences the growth of Sylvia's tail. She wraps around her chair as it advances, placing her at the center of a spiral of serpentine muscle. Just 10 left now. Only 5 more. 4 lights. 3, 2, 1. Nothing. Points of her ears poke through her hair. When she next opens her mouth, 2 fangs appear in place of canines. Felix doesn't even flinch. What do you see now? Nothing. Wonderful. But we're still descending. It's a silent, still forest. There's no sound except my voice and your breathing. We're about to reach the bottom of your subconscious. Exhale. Leave behind that last bit of buoyancy in your chest. A long, drawn-out breath escapes Felix, and he sits lower in his chair than ever before. You're doing great, Felix. A few more seconds. A few more feet. We're almost there, at the very bottom of your mind. He seems to rest on something soft and solid beneath him. I'm here. Very good. We're standing on the forest floor now. What's been hidden under so many layers of thought and doubt and second guessing are now here for you to grasp. Glistening scales unfold on her face, as vivid and brilliant as those that cover her tail. Would you like to start dealing with those now? Yes. I really want to. And I'll be here to help you. So tell me, what is most troubling you right now? I'm frightened. That's okay. Many of us are. What are you frightened of? Of a lot of things. Do they all have to do with the store? Pause is filled by the subtle rustling of Sylvia's tail and the hum of the fluorescent lights. Most of them. That's a good place to start, then. What are you afraid of happening? I'm afraid of failing. I'm afraid of messing up, driving the store out of business. I'm afraid of letting you and Margaret down. I'm afraid of being seen for what I am. Thank you for telling me. It must have been hard to say. We want to help you avoid that, because we care for you. A sigh deflates his chest. Thank you. Let's delve into why you're frightened. Why are you frightened to fail in the store? Because there's too much to do. There's ordering and inventory, bills and hiring, and taxes, and scheduling, and marketing, and working the floor. It's too much, and I can't keep up with it. That sounds very stressful. I can't do it anymore. I'm afraid of what will happen when it falls apart. I have nightmares about you two, finding out about everything I haven't done and abandoning me. His shoulders shake just enough for me to see. Considering how far under he is, I imagine him sobbing under normal circumstances. Then let's help you. Tell me about inventory. Are you able to do that on your own? Yes, I can. It takes a while, but I can. How about scheduling? Can you do that? Yes. Though it is a little tough with, well, he swallows, you missing shifts. Sylvia smiles just enough for me to see her fangs. Well, I'll try to make that easy on you from now on. And what about everything else? Are they things that you can do by yourself? Yes. Some better than others, but I think so. So it sounds like you can do any of them individually, but there's too many of them when combined. That's true. Sylvia brightens up. It sounds like there might be a solution. Perhaps you just have to delegate. There are likely some responsibilities Margaret and I could do, in addition to being on the floor. Felix grimaces. Maybe. I've been afraid of letting Margaret take things over since she'll see how disorganized they are. I think she might be more confident and will look down on me after seeing what state things have gotten in. I think Margaret has been frustrated, but I'm certain she wouldn't look down on you. Isn't that right, Margaret? Of course I wouldn't. I just want what's best for you and the store. Felix's head nods forward with a muffled, I hope so. You can know so. Does that sound acceptable? Do you think you can give her more responsibilities to Margaret and me, while you hire someone else to do the entry-level tasks? The several breaths Felix takes before responding last an eternity. I don't know if I can. Why is that? I don't think I can let myself. And what's preventing you? My pride, I think. I don't think I can let go of my responsibilities. I can't seem weak. I can't reach out when I'm in trouble and hurting. I'm feeling called out by this particular hypno session. Just gonna say. It's not something a man's allowed to do. Sylvia nods and glances over at me, confident she's found the crux. She allows herself the slightest glimmer of self-satisfaction. Is that acting as a wall for you? Your conception of masculinity is preventing you from reaching out? It is. Then we just need to help you rework your conception of masculinity. Do you want me to help you do that? No. Sylvia's eyes flash wide open as she leans back. Her eyes flit back to me for a moment. You don't want that? I don't. Why don't you? It sounds like it's causing you stress. It is. Coils stir restlessly. Then, why do you want to keep it as it is? I'm afraid if you change it, it'll fall away. If you make one crack, it'll all shatter. I don't want it to disappear. I don't want to lose that shield. Why is that? Because I'm afraid of what I'll reveal to be without it. Sylvia looks alarmed. What would that be? A woman. I jump as Sylvia's chair scrapes across the floor. She tightened her coils around it so severely that she dragged it back a few inches. She looks over at me with desperation. The panic mixed with her hypnotic powers and snake-like face makes her look truly frightening. I can only silently plead my own ignorance of what to do. After a few seconds of looking between the two of us, she shakily attempts to resume her authoritative posture. Felix, I need to speak in private for a moment, so I'm going to have you stop listening to me. Between the time I say teacup and the time I say saucer, you will not hear me speak or retain anything about what I say. All right? All right. Teacup. Felix's eyes glaze over even more. Sylvia's face whips towards me. Oh my God! We are at the point. I think Felix might be a girl. Really? Yes, you heard what was just said? Felix is worried about being seen as a woman. Like they don't want to be seen for who they really are. I think this is why Felix doesn't let anyone help. It would be feminine to do so, and that would be a slippery slope to revealing more about their gender. But I mean, it's not like Felix puts on a super masculine front. They live with a ton of cats, and I don't think they've ever played a sport in their life. Why would this be the thing they fixate on? Sylvia shakes her head. I don't know. She looks back and forth between Felix and me. What should I do? I don't know. Maybe just ask more about it. Promise not to do anything Felix didn't want, so just ask what they want. Okay. I'll do my best. She closes her eyes and takes a few deep breaths. They come out as rattling hisses each time. When she opens them again, she has a renewed sense of compassion in her gaze and voice. Saucer. Felix's head raises a smidgen. Sorry for that delay. I want to ask you about that answer you gave. Can I do that? Yes. Why are you frightened of being seen as a woman? Because I don't want to confront that. Felix, I had to ask myself this question as well, so I know how hard it is to answer. But do you think you are a woman? Muscles beneath Felix's face twitch as they contemplate their answer. I think I am. Sylvia nods. Thank you for telling me. I know how hard that can be. Do you want me to still use Felix for you? I sometimes used to imagine having the name Felicia. Sylvia smiles warmly. Then I'd love to be the first person to call you Felicia. Felicia smiles like a big, soft blanket has been draped around their shoulders. Yeah, I'll be honest, this was never the way I confronted my gender. For me, it is more of a no, I am not that thing. I am not masculine, male, don't like it. I've not taken the time to really think about how exactly I'd like to define myself. Because honestly, well, I mean, two things really. That's already enough to be a threat to some people who tend to see threats as something as a target to be violent towards. So why confront myself when I already know this much is a target? And two, I mean, does it really matter? I've already gone this far in life just pretending to be masculine for my safety. And by keeping the face up, I can keep my friends safe. Let them be open about who they are, and give them a place to escape to, without worry about any of the assholes who think, men who don't want to be men, well, might as well just put them out of our misery. I mean, those types of people don't know I'm a threat, then they've got no reason to look closer at the company I keep. Maybe one day I'll feel safe enough to really look into what I'd like to be rather than just what I'm definitely not. But as we can see nowadays, it's not the right place for that. Not yet. I'll continue to be safe for those I love and care for, but me time isn't far in the future. Did it feel good to be called that? Yeah, it did. I think that's a good sign then. Is there anything else about being a woman that appeals to you? I want to relate to women that way. I don't want to loom over you and Margaret at work. I want to be friends with you two, the way women are friends. God, if they are about to say, like, the way you two are friends, like, oh boy. It's like, we need to share some things, Felicia. Thinking about the meme where it says, takes a panel of doctors years to be sure enough to diagnose someone as autistic. But a schoolyard bully can do it in minutes. That, but for eggs. And by eggs, for anyone who's watching this unfamiliar, trans people. People with identities that do not match their birth. I want to share a glance with a woman on the subway and not feel like I'm intruding. I want to hear someone use ma'am or she when I'm out in the world. I don't want to have to justify my feminine traits. I want to be able to wander into the other side of the clothing department. I want to experience intimacy like that. I can see Sylvia just tamp down, lump in her throat. That sounds lovely, Felicia. That's probably a better description for our maxing. Eggs being people who don't know they're trans. They feel dysphoric and just unaccountably miserable. I guess I lean more into the close to cracking end of the egg spectrum. But thank you for that. Oh wait, did I read this? No. Do you want me to help you do those things? I do. But it's scary. I know it is, but I can help you get over those fears. I can remove your self-consciousness about acting feminine or make you see your body in a different way. That sounds like so much, though. Mind you, running toward euphoria is usually more effective than fleeing dysphoria. Oh, for sure. Especially in my case, it'd probably do a lot better for my stress, but again, in my case, now's not exactly the safest time for it. It's better to be one of the non-visible trans people to keep the more visible ones safe. I'll let other people explore the euphoria that comes with being their authentic self. I will be the bulwark against fucking assholes who wish them harm. I can live with that. Not everyone should have to. Fuck, few people should have to. But I can do it. For my loved ones. Oh, trust me, I don't wish it upon me either. But, I'm not going to go into their stories. But the two of my closest friends who are in such a predicament were having a rough home life even before coming out. But it turned out their families do love and care for them, and they're willing to accept, even though they don't understand. I am taking that as a barometer for there might be people in this area who, being complete strangers, will not understand. I'll be another step on the Underground Railroad if that's what it takes, but I don't need to draw attention to them. I give. It's what I do. It's what I do best. And god damn it, is that a flaw of mine, but right now it's a helpful flaw. Alright. It is so much. But we can do something easier instead for now. I can help you bring this knowledge of yourself to the top of your mind. I can help you carry it out of your subconscious to your waking thoughts. You don't have to do anything with them right away. You can sit with them. Think about what they mean for you. I can even make sure you'll only remember your feelings from this session. You only have to hold on to that feeling of being called Felicia and choose to hear it again for the first time. We promise not to share anything from this afternoon if that's what you want. I think I'd like that. Let's do that then. I want you to take all your feelings about your femininity and draw them close to you. Imagine they're wisps of smoke floating toward you from every corner of your mind. Collect those feelings of your identity, your aspirations, and your self-conception, and draw them toward you. Form them into a ball in front of you. Are you doing that? I am. There's a lot of them. Then push them tight together. Pack them nice and dense so you can hold them all. It might be a little heavy, but you are strong enough to hold them. Felicia's eyes twitch back and forth like she's dreaming. Thoughts she'd hardly give notice to now manifest and are made tangible in front of her. A moment later, she turns her palms upward, yet a weight seems to push them down. She's holding them. I have them now. Very good. How do they feel? Comforting and daunting. That makes sense. And they're coming back with you. You're going to carry them up. But we're going to leave the memories of what we said down here. Only your impressions will come back with you, along with what you're holding. The only thing you'll know on top of that is that I'll be here for you if you ever want to explore these feelings more deeply. Thank you. You're always welcome, Felicia. Sleepy grin bubbles up to the surface. Now, let's lift you up again. You feel your body growing lighter. You're rising up out of the forest. Back to your conscious mind, back to all your faculties. Muscles in Felicia's body stir back to life, rising up the trunks back toward the branches. Tiny pinpricks of light are reappearing. The light of day is returning. Felicia's posture was more erect in her seat. Those points of light are merging, becoming gaps between the leaves. It's coming closer. You're almost there. But you won't be back just yet. Margaret's gonna guide you past those last few layers. Jolt to attention they mention my name. I want you to stand up. Felicia rises as if lifted by a rope. As you pass through the leaves, follow Margaret out of the room back to the floor. When she says bird, you'll wake up. Felicia nods and turns to head toward me. I open the door and she drifts behind me to the counter. Okay, now that we're out of the hypno space, I did see that comment Barango, but it felt like it'd break the immersion just a little bit of it leaving the hypnosis. Not only has she effectively hatched, like a snake from a slightly too strong egg that Sylvia gently cut, but she's very cute when hypnotized. Very fair. Though, I think for this portion of the story, I'm not sure how to interpret that hypnosis and what they brought back. But I think it's going to be back to Felix, at least for the next little bit of gameplay. But with that, definitely time for a little sippy break. Gotta say, I'm glad that the rain stopped. Just for stream, there was some heavy rainfall. And it died down from around when I started stream, but from the sound of it, it's no longer going at all. So sorry for those who were hoping for a rainy day ASMR on top of the hypno. Sorry to disappoint you, just hypno today. Yes, the egg has been cut. Felicia is still cute. With a cautious eye directed at the front door, I guide her to where our initial conversation took place. I recreate our positions so we'd never ventured into the back room. For a moment, I let her stand there, making sure she passes through every layer of the canopy until she's resting again on the treetops. Do you see a bird up there with you? So taken literally, coming back they should hear either bird up there with you or up there with you. With a jolt, she opens her eyes and blinks furiously. Meanwhile, the game music is... There we go. Once again, finding her footing, she looks around to see who awoke her. And she finds me standing right in front of her. Oh, Margaret, I zoned out there for a second. She squints. What was I doing just now? You had your visualization session with Sylvia. Did I? Yeah, you were back there for a while, then came back out here. She's just wrapping things up for herself back there. Oh, yeah. I guess I must have. I hope it went well. She furrows her brow as if to recollect something. I definitely feel better, I think. I just have a lot of... Her eyes drift past me. Things to think about. Do you want to do some of that at home? Sylvia and I could close up for you. For the first time I can remember, she doesn't push back on an offer to help. Sure. You could even close early if you want. I think I might have some soul searching to do. Whatever you need, boss. She nods, pinching her eyebrows together at hearing that title. I'll, see you next week then. Of course. Felicia drifts towards the front door. The bell jingles when she exits. Guy's a little worried, but it looks like she actively avoided calling them by their prior name. I don't want to quite call it a dead name just yet, because it could be Soul Searching Leaves 2. It's like, we're going to go with Felix until I actually properly transition. I could see that. Like, the inability to ask for help was an endearing trait, but that I'm so sad for you might blow away. Absolutely agree. Wait, you want to see these foreign polycule? You want Peggy to be a separate part of this polycule, Barango? Is that what I'm reading correctly? A little wet meow meow. Exactly. One of my friends loves creating just absolutely sopping wet blorbos, and they're oh so fun to hear about. I don't know about you, but rather than a separate part of this polycule, I'd rather it not be a between Peggy or Margaret, but you get the full fusion down to, I think Maggie is what they're called in the extras menu, where Margaret's got a bit of that confidence and proper know-how of fashion and maintaining outfits that somehow her subconscious keeps. I don't think that's how the subconscious actually works. I don't think little details you see every once in a while from a magazine really sticks that much. But oh well. I don't imagine it'll help get the store on any quicker. Well, not in the short run, probably, but it'll be good for everyone in the long term, I'm sure. At least I don't have to work anymore tonight. Before I can walk over to the front door and lock it, a woman bursts through in a panic, dressed in an outfit that's half armor, half dress, all trans color coded. Oh, sorry, we're actually just about to close. Don't worry, I'll be really quick. Where are your RPG manuals? Over with the game books, next to the window in the corner. She dashes the spot I referenced. Give me a good look at the tail that's poking out from under her skirt. She's even quicker than she promised and drops a hardbound Game Master's Guide on the counter in the time it takes me to get behind it. Sorry, it's just that Lily said Radiant Hammer required concentration to maintain the area of effect that deals holy damage, but Alex said the manual said it didn't. And then Mage said that was only the case in revision 3 of 6th edition, but we were all using the PDF version that's proficient 6, and Lily insisted the printed version is different. Oh yeah. I think in the other timeline, like the proper Felicia timeline, there is mention of a furry convention. Like in town. In fact, or actually wait, was it Julie's route where we escaped by going full furry and just running through convention? Okay, yeah, I think I was getting the Felicia and Julie routes mixed up. But yeah, there's definitely one going on in town during this week. And I think there's one other extra character like her where they're not giving a proper name that is just full on dressed up like this. It's great. Anyway, no one is budging. I gotta get this back so we can finish the encounter, sneak into the royal ball while Kaluar's betrothed has been kidnapped. I hand her receipt. So this is a game night thing with your friends? Oh, actually, we're all online friends who are playing in person for the first time at the con. The con? The convention? Furry convention? A couple blocks away? She points at her winged and horned headband. Oh, I actually just got here. I didn't know what was going on. Yeah, it's going through the weekend. Anyway, gotta get back. Thanks for staying open for me. Yeah, she's adorable. Sadly unnamed. She bounds out the door, clutching the book to her chest as her tail bounces behind her. Huh. Oh, the music just cuts off. Okay. Lock the door behind her and flip the sign to close before heading back to Sylvia. She's just as snaky as she was when I left. How did it go? Is she still here? Did she say anything about wanting to talk to me? Did she mention her name? Did she ask us to do anything? Calm down, Sylvia. She's fine. I mean, she didn't say a whole lot, just that she wanted to go home and think for a bit. She told us we can close the store now, too, so don't worry about changing back to get on the floor soon. Oh, okay, if that's all she said. Tail glides around on the floor as she fidgets. How are you doing? God, I'm so worked up. I thought I could help with my powers, but nothing like this. Who knows how long it would take for her to figure that out on her own. Maybe I can hypnotize her again, get rid of those issues I had before she even transitions. Oh my God, do you think we should both go shopping with her for the first time? Jeez, you really are worked up. Yeah, I just want to help more. Like, who knows what I could help people with? They could have all sorts of insecurities or things they're repressing. I could get them out. I want to do it so bad, but I have to be a snake to do it. How am I going to convince people to let me talk to them when I'm like this? I might have some idea where we could do it. Oh? What's that? Well... Oh, I love smash cut humor like that. It's great. Hotel lobby is swarming with so many people it's difficult to move. Okay. I'll take a brief break there for more sip. But wonderful. It's been so long since I've seen this background. I wish this was one of the games where I could easily go into the files and get the background image. I'd love to use it as part of the thumbnail. But alas, I cannot. Oh, though what I can do is I can drop a save and maybe do some editing magic later. So let's see. There it is. Wait, no, that was load. Save game. Overwrite your save, yes. Yeah, just adorable. Well, actually, because we're at a brief break, take a little bit longer break, and let's see if we can find that NPC here. Oh, we don't... God, I don't even have, what, half of them? What's the issue here? Aha! Just past her. Aw, man, no different outfits, but you have different eyes and the different mouths. Definitely full mouth, like, super excited talking. Oh, she does have a name, it's Gabby! Okay, so we all know the... I guess Pegasus, because it's unicorn horn and wings, right? No, wait, it's a different name if it's both, isn't it? God, I know this. Shit, I don't know this well enough. Okay, that is what the internet is for. Winged unicorn term. Thank you, Search AI, you did not help. A Ceraptor? That doesn't sound right. Ah, well. Yeah, it probably came up from My Little Pony or something. Oh, well. Yeah, we got Gabby. Oh. I guess I ran into Lucid, or I'm about to run into Lucid. That name seems a little on the nose. But, for a game, but whatever. And Lucius. Definitely ran into Lucius the other route. I know I ran into a rabbit character. Oh, and this guy's just called Fantasy Prick. Prick for short. Actually, no. That's what I'm going to think of now. If there's any prick out there who refers to himself as Rick, in my mind, it's Rick is short for prick. Any other... Oh, we just have waiter. Got it. Security guard. I think this was the Julie route. Mr. Plinks, who we only saw in the alternate end for Sylvia, where they need an agent. We got Tharkus. We got... Aw, she's just lady. Lily... Nocta? Adriana. Well, that's fun. I didn't notice before that they actually had names for most of them. That's adorable. Okay, one more sip and we'll go into full-on furry con. Maybe turn down the music a little bit. The hotel lobby is swarming with so many people it's difficult to move. Not that all of them look like people, but it'd be hard to name all the species present. I hope that driver didn't mind me calling him again. It's kind of a lot to chauffeur me around when I'm like this. I think he'll manage considering the way you're tipping him. A few congoers pause in their paths, take photos of Sylvia, and only some bothering it to ask permission before doing so, which is rude. It's one thing if it's like people at a booth, like actively doing poses and stuff, but it's like you should still ask whenever possible. In either case, she smiles and waves each time from her perch on the luggage carts. It was my idea to wheel her around on them to avoid drawing too much attention. She does her best to lash the 3 platforms together using her tail. It feels weird to see people impressed by me like this instead of terrified. You do look pretty striking. Yeah, but you're way cuter than me. No one's asking for a picture of me like that. The man with a professional looking camera approaches us with a... I think that's a Greek letter. I want to say upsilon, but I'm probably wrong. Hey, can I get a picture of you two for the con website? Oh, sure. Backs up, crouches while the two of us smile, takes a half dozen shots in quick succession before standing back up. Thanks for the shots. Fun concept with the snake and mongoose, too. Oh, I'm actually a mink. I think. I'll note that. Have a good con. Disappears in the crowd, and I turn to see Sylvia smirking. That one was half you. She's satisfied enough to have her compliment proven right. So, how should we do this? Do you think there's anywhere in particular we should go? Well, we don't have passes, so we can't go on the floor, but I did see they had little performing areas in some of the halls and lobbies, like sort of a busking thing. Hopefully there's an open spot, and hopefully you don't mind wheeling me around. Of course not. Your faithful chariot is at your service. Grasp the handle of the center cart and push forward. Sylvia keeps waving like she's a beauty queen on a float. We pass one performance area with a hedgehog playing a ukulele, and another where a herd of huskies perform a mime routine before we find an open spot. Sorry, I'm just trying to imagine that now. Like, first off, when I think of canine furries, I always think like full-on mascot suit outfits. Just because it's kind of hard to get a good proper canine snout with just physical prosthetics. But they're also doing a mime routine. I'm not sure if that'd be easier or harder, just because it is cutting off like all your perception if you're doing the full mascot head. But also the suit, it might, not quite cushion, diminish the visibility of any movement, just because you're bulkier than a person. Might find a video on it later, see if someone's actually done that. The hastily drawn poster board sign we'd scrawled with marker is taped onto the wall. Sylvia slides off the carts. She pulls her tail off with her hands as though she can't move it on her own, though we know the truth. We take a blanket we'd brought from bookstore Lost and Found, sling it over the cart for a makeshift curtain. Our preparations are complete. We stand there for a moment. So, how do we get people to stop by? Oh wait, I forgot that's Sylvia's voice. So, how do we get people to stop by? So, I guess it's not super obvious what we're offering, huh? I might try drumming up some interest. Sort of do the carnival barker thing. If you think that'll work. She moves to one side so any hypno-tea could stand behind it in relative privacy. Take a step into the hall and open my mouth. 3 seconds later, I shut it tight. Crap, don't know what to say. With so many people wearing masks, it's hard to catch people's eyes, and even when I do, I always break eye contact first. Hey, everyone, come see Madame Nagaloska, mistress of the hypnotic arts. No one stops. Ease your troubles with the genuine mind-altering powers of my girlfriend, who is a snake. Passerby stops to snap a photo of Sylvia, then continues on their way. riveting stuff. I don't know. I don't have any experience with this. The last thing we did I could handle. I know about fancy books and customer service, but this is all new. But you were doing so well before. This is the perfect time to get outside your comfort zone. Most of these people are from out of town, and you're hardly recognizable. I survey the crowd, and I'm even more daunted than before. Yeah, but I still need to do it. Let me give you a little nudge, then. Rush of ice water in my blood makes me shiver to attention. Oh, that's just lovely. Now, where was I? Clamp down the sensation side of it. What was that? Just giving you a little boost before you start. But you can't take over if I don't ask. I wasn't taking over. I was just lending you some of my essence. You get to use it however you see fit. Sweetie, what's going on? Oh, Peggy and I were going over what to do. Oh, well, whatever you two think you're capable of. Yes, what do you think you're capable of? What are you going to give yourself permission to do? Close my eyes and inhale. Give it to me. Same brisk energy fills me and I feel a foot taller. My posture seems to change of its own accord to match Peggy's more assertive stance. Meanwhile, my thoughts are a whirlwind of possibilities, filled with recollections of loquacious pitchmen bursting with authority and bravado. I can suddenly think of dozens of ways to attract attention to our makeshift booth. What's more is they all seem so fun. Any thought that something could possibly go wrong is swiftly nudged aside. It doesn't take long for everything to settle into place. Yes, what these people need is a show. Come one, come all, to witness the amazing mentalist feats of Madame Nagaloska, performing wondrous acts of hypnotism in a limited engagement at the new Greenshire Convention Center. No ailment too petty to be rehabilitated, no secret too obscure to be extracted, under the magical influence of this serpentine beauty. Words spill out of me so fast it's hard to keep up, but I charge ahead with my voice. Few people slow their paths. Any mental malady medicated in moments, and all you must do is stare in the piercing eyes of this lovely Lamia. Few people are intrigued enough to stop. My chest flashes with heat as I meet the eyes of one passerby. He isn't any taller than most guys I know, but my nerves resurface and make him tower over me. I almost shrink back down to my normal posture, but another dose of Peggy quells any doubts. You, sir, what condition can our coiled cutie cure for you this evening? Me? No, the other gentleman in the 2-foot-tall rabbit ears. A few of his friends snicker. He fails to tamp down on a nervous smile. Oh, nothing, really? Nothing, you say? I didn't know we had the most well-adjusted man in America attending the convention. Maybe you should be the one on display. I mean, nothing major, I guess. Scan his face for what nothing major could mean. The bags under his eyes make for an easy diagnosis. Even the smallest, simplest afflictions are fair game for the benevolent Madame Nagaloska. A focal tic, nasty habit, perhaps even trouble sleeping. His eyes light up and I receive a rush of endorphins at guessing right. Oh, I guess it can take a while to go to bed. Excellent. Why don't we let some hypnotism treat your hypnagogic gales? Sylvia, we have our first willing participant this evening. Care to assist him? Sure thing, Margaret. She reaches out a hand to take his. He's surprised to be referred to as willing, but the chance old Sylvia's hand does a lot to convince him. It'd do a lot to convince me too, to be honest. Now that someone's gone behind the curtain, the growing crowd sees us as a serious endeavor, and I'm chasing the high of recruiting more participants. The fact I'm helping them just makes me more eager. Who else could use some assistance from our charming hypnotist? Oh, hey. She have anything for fear of public speaking? Which is kind of funny as a way to introduce yourself, aka speaking in public. The woman who had spoken up obscures herself behind her boyfriend, which doesn't translate well to the game. Public speaking. Did I public hear that correctly? She giggles and nods. Why, that's a specialty of Mad Magloska. Would you believe I was once a mousy young woman who couldn't speak above a squeak? And I do literally mean mousy. Took on one ear as the crowd titters. Now, with the confidence imbued in me, I'm able to address all you fine furries with exact elocution, even if the voice actor is not doing all that well themselves. Small hiccup makes me realize just how true everything I've just said is. The distance between what I'm doing right now and what I'd been 4 days ago makes me lose a step. Another serving of Peggy's poise allows me to regain the beat. Who knows what she'll be able to do for you, especially when you appear so charming already. Okay, there we go. She buries her face on her boyfriend's shoulder. He nudges her towards the curtain, and she forms the first person in the queue. Make sure to get in line while it's still short, everyone. Spots are sure to fill up fast. I continue to hawk for Sylvia as the evening wears on. It's easier once a healthy line forms and anyone passing by can see something's happening. Some people have actual issues they want to work on, while some want an excuse to look into the eyes of a beautiful woman who's half snake. All of them come out from behind the curtain, amazed at what Sylvia's done for them. Some of them thank me directly. Some of them simply rave to their friends, who then get in line themselves. It isn't long before half the people in line have been referred by previous participants. After a while, I don't need to convince anyone to jump in the queue. I work the line instead by keeping the attendees engaged and asking questions to pass on to Sylvia before their sessions. Sylvia's in even higher demand for photographs whenever she finishes with someone. She has to limit herself to 2 photo ops between each sitting. I keep the would-be photographers company in the meantime, act as a subject for them as well. My skill at flashing just enough fang grows more honed with each hour. Long into the night we continue. Past the time the exhibition halls close and most of the attendees retire to their hotel rooms. Sylvia simply has an inexhaustible capacity to help, and I have an insatiable appetite for attention. God, alliteration. Looks good on paper, hard to say aloud. It's the most exhilarating night I've had in ages. Day 6. Give it up for day 6. Love me some water. Ding, ding, da ba da ba da. Or however that's supposed to sound like. Drop another save. We'll do... Yep. Alright, all that stuff. We don't actually need Whirlwind Tour anymore, because that's pretty much just smash cut run to the ending, so we'll just save over for that. Okay, we've got the full Mink. My eyes open in a bleary haze as I try to figure out if my phone's receiving call or just waking me up with my own alarm. Pro tip, for anyone who's relying on phone alarms to wake up in the morning, definitely customize the tone. And if you're the type of person who needs multiple alarms to make sure you wake up on time, like yours truly, make sure to change them so they're all different. If they're all the same, it's easier for your brain to just get used to them. But change them all up, hell, sometimes swap them around from time to time, and your brain will be harder to just sleep through it. It's definitely too early for it to be either. Just stumble out of bed. Phone's not going to stop until I do something about it, so I fumble with the screen until I swipe the right way. Hi, Margaret. You there? Sort of. Did you just wake up or something? Of course I did. What time is it anyway? Margaret, it's 8 a.m. Take the time to look at the clock at the corner of my screen. It is? Yeah, I've been talking with the con organizers for a while already. I am now awake enough to notice the light peeking in through my blackout curtains. Crap, I didn't realize it was that late. Yeah, aren't usually good at getting work on time. I'm not used to late nights. It's not like I have to get up for anything. We don't. Her level of wakefulness allows me to comprehend something she just said. Wait, you were talking with the convention organizers? Yeah, I got the number one of them last night. They want to know if we'd like to work in a more official capacity. At the last minute, apparently. Really? Yeah, they've got like a mental health section of the con, like a corner where you go to be somewhere quiet, and sometimes they have a yoga class or something. Anyway, they want to give us some passes, set up a booth for us so we can do the sessions with a little more privacy and be in the actual convention space too. I think we might have been blocking the hallway with our line a little bit last night. Oh, wow, that's a lot. I mean, 2 free passes to a furry convention aren't quite the incentive they probably think it is, but it's exciting that they want us to keep doing it. I assume you want to take them up on the offer? For sure. You saw how there were still people in line when we finished, right? I bet a lot of people only heard about us overnight. I'm sure there's a lot more people I could help out at the con. That's what I thought you'd say. Well, I guess I still have the day off if you want me to tag along. Oh, come on, Margaret. You know I can't do this without you. That's a very charitable appraisal of my role in all this, but I'll take you up on it. Should I meet you at the con, or do you want me to pick you up? You can meet me there. I'll probably meditate back and drink more tea at the convention center. Maybe I'll bring a bunch of boxes and pretend my costume is inside of them. Is one thing I was going to ask. What's that? I got up early enough to, well, experiment with the tea. I was curious about how far I could take the transformation, so I had more, even though I woke up snaky. I remained silent for a few seconds. Sylvia, do you still have your arms? Yes, Margaret, I still have my arms. Okay, at least you didn't go that far. How would I even be using my phone? I don't know. You have the tip of your tail. And we both know your tongue's pretty dexterous. Can't quite tell if I hear a sigh on the other side of the phone or not. Anyway, I got scales all over and a snake mouth or nose. What would you call that? Snout? Yeah, exactly. It's really wild. It really completes the whole look. I think we'd probably fit in with the aesthetic of the con this way. The full body costume seemed to be the top of the line stuff. Gonna put on my magician outfit too. Figured we'd want to play up the showmanship angle if they put us up in an actual booth or stage or whatever. I'm assuming Brango is emotionally electrocuted at the description of the snoot and tongue. Oh, that's sort of a lot to ask so early. Yeah, I know. No big deal if you'd rather not. You were so cute the way you were last night. I shuffled my feet for a few moments. Mind if I talk with Peggy a bit? Oh, sure. I'll wait. Turn my attention away from the phone and inward instead. I have a feeling I know your thoughts on the idea. You mean, do I have the dress and shoes picked out already? Yes, I do. Is it going to be as revealing as I think it is? Don't worry, you'll hardly be showing any skin at all. The fur will make sure of that. I wince. I thought you were trying to convince me to do it. Margaret, when have I ever led you wrong? I guess that depends on what's leading and what's taking over. Sweetie, pumpkin, bubblegum. Has any new thing we've tried not been an absolute delight? If I went back in time and made you miss anything from these past few days, would you ever forgive me? I imagine the possibility of missing out on all the things that made the past week so exhilarating. Oh, I guess I would have hated to miss those. Well, this is the biggest ask Sylvia or I have made of you. Don't you imagine it could be the biggest reward you've received yet? My stomach fills with butterflies at what could potentially happen if I step off that ledge. I suppose it's settled then. She thinks it before I can. Hey, Sylvia? Yeah? Tell me where to pick up my pass, and get ready for the cutest thing you've seen me in yet. Oh, that. We're just gonna take it all in, because they're standing out, and they're standing out. The question is raised, however. Did they have to ruin that dress just so the tail could be poking out of it, rather than riding up her ass, showing off, that Margaret's got 4 cheeks? Yes. Just take it in. Yes. Okay, I think Baranga's all explanation pointed out for the moment. Yeah. After being very, very... Yes, we arrive at the con after a swift car ride courtesy of Sylvia. Swift in comparison to my usual commute, at least. There's no way I was going to ride the train to town like this. It was daunting enough sitting in the back of the luxury car the whole time. Thank you for letting me out for the car ride, dearest. Well, I figured you'd be more comfortable in that situation, and I imagine you'll be up front at least once a day. That'll be easier than giving you a big chunk of time once a week. Ooh, a daily constitutional? Such a kind offer. Considering we share a brain, it's hard to tell when you're sarcastic sometimes. I wouldn't think of it. Very clarifying. Make my way to the booth the con set aside for us. People at the will call table gave me a map and clarified the directions Sylvia already sent me. Well, actually, before we continue, raise a question for me. Because as big as this con seems to be described as, I'm surprised they have the room to just set up a new booth for us. I'd be even more surprised if it's a set time with a stage space, but still. It's a hopping. Rabbit pun unintended, but welcome, in hindsight. But yeah, with how prolific and well off some furries seem to be, especially those who can afford the full suits, I would think a proper convention would be pretty well packed. So, lucky them. / necessary for the story, I guess. Crowds part as I navigate the convention center. I can make out whispers and notice more than a few people taking out their phones to take pictures. Again, rude, ask permission. It's more attention than I've ever experienced in my life. As hard as it is to weather, I know I wouldn't have been able to handle it all before. Well, the dress is doing what you wanted it to. It's not just the dress, I'm sure you realize. It's tough to track the gaze of everyone I walk past, but I do notice some people staring above my eyeline. Oh, I guess maybe some of them are looking at the ears and stuff. I'd guess more than a few. Give your tail a nice big swish and see what happens. I'm usually convinced I'm incapable of moving in anything resembling a sexy manner. The idea I could do anything special with a limb I've had for only 2 days seems impossible. I have enough control over it that I can give a quick flick upward. The murmur in the crowd is both obvious and exhilarating. My chest sparkles with light as I hear it. See? What did I tell you? Yeah, though they're probably just impressed by the mechanics of a costume that can move like this. Results are results. Might be something to keep in mind for working the line, here we go, full snake. The journey is both too long and not long enough, but eventually I find my way to our booth, which looks the same as the lobby for some reason, but we'll get into that later. Sylvia is facing away from me as I approach and giving me the same view I saw yesterday. Hi, Sylvia. She turns around without rotating her hips in the slightest. Oh, we both jump the moment we look in each other's eyes. Oh my god, you look. And you look. Sylvia hadn't been kidding. Scales cover her face, and her mouth has a serpentine prominence to it, though just blunt enough to lean more human. You look amazing. Oh. You too, especially in that dress. I didn't think even Peggy would be that adventurous. I'm finally ready to take the reaction solely as a compliment. Oh yeah, I figured I might as well go all out. It's not like I'm the only one at the con who's dressed a little suggestively. Please, thank Peggy for convincing you, for suggesting it, or whatever she did. You look really gorgeous, too. I'm glad the outfit still works so well for you. I'm surprised you added the skirt, though. What do you mean? Oh, I thought you might go with just the top and the snake tail. She stares at me like I came to the con in scuba gear. I'm not going to go bottomless in public. Oh, I thought it'd be like mermaid rules. Scales count as clothes. Margaret, that's what my genitals are. The realization makes my stomach drop. Right. Well, you still look good with the skirt. Oh, once again, accidental right click. You still look good with the skirt. She's kind enough to take my compliment as the end of the conversation. So, what do we do? Oh, they printed out a nice sign for us that we can hang on the booth when we're ready. They said they'd announce when we're open after we message them. They're gonna do it. They're gonna do it on this social app for furries that most of the attendees have. Woofer, I think. That's probably a pun I don't understand. Yeah, I had the feeling too. When do you want to start? I've been here for a while, so I'm all set. I figured we'd start whenever you're up for it, but I know you just got here. No, that's fine. I really shouldn't spend that much more time thinking about it. Want me to put up the sign? Sure. I'll try to tuck enough of my tail away so it doesn't take up the whole booth. I'll text the organizers too. Grab the sign, hang it on the hooks provided. It's as professional as I could expect, considering it was commissioned in the last couple hours. Sylvia takes her place in the booth and texts a message before tucking her phone away. I spare a half second wondering if scales make the touchscreen any more difficult to operate. Well, I think we can pick up where we left off last night. Most certainly. Still need a boost, if you don't mind. Open the valve in my mind and let Peggy's essence rush in. My stance loosens as limbs I'd unconsciously be covering myself with are unmoored. A satisfied sigh escapes my lips as I find my frame taking up all the space allotted to it, and not just the narrow cylinder I usually confine myself to. You're too generous with this, Peggy. I might find myself getting used to it. Always threaten me with a good time. It'll be a moment before the news pushes out to everyone's phone, but that doesn't mean I can't prime the pump for our act on my own. Yes, everyone, the rumors are true. Madame Nagaloska is back once again to ease the troubles of the attendees at the New England Furry Festival, now in a newly improved official capacity. This time people notice immediately. Either my hawking skills are getting better, or the word really has gotten out about Sylvia. You heard correctly. The magnanimous magician has benevolently bequeathed her precious time to provide aid to the fine fauna frequenting this locale. From cetaceans to canines, amphibians to arachnids, Madame Nagaloska is no respecter of species in her earnest quest to still the minds of any who seek succor in her hypnotic eyes. People are now murmuring and confirming with their companions that Sylvia's who they think they is. Take it from me, Margaret the Mink. You can achieve a life you never knew possible under the scrutiny of this serpent. An eager young man, overburdened with swag-filled shopping bags, rushes towards the booth and stands in front of the curtain. Sylvia lets him in. There's a smart lad for you. He'll have the shortest wait of the day. Anyone interested in having the second shortest? The There's no sales pitch quite like the fear of missing out, and a few passerbys divert their courses into the queue. I resume my routine from the last stint by posing for pictures and priming volunteers for their sessions. Before long, the queue is as crowded as last night. We got another one! Once again, we're just gonna enjoy this person. Another NPC, and there are probably going to be a few of these, so we'll hold off before going to the extras and finding out their names. But, just beautiful. Simple, no big patterns, but I love the color fade of the hair. Just, I'm assuming natural to like an indigo type blue. Very nice. Flowers also a nice touch. Hello, my young lady. Are you ready for your session with Madame Nagaloska? Oh, yeah, I hope so. What issue will our benefactor be aiding you with this morning? Well, it's a little personal, I guess. Oh, do they, She blushes as she hunches in her smile. Don't worry, you can save it for the booth. Some people just find it helpful to put into words before they head inside. She mulls over whether it's worth it. Well, it's just I've been trying to get healthier over the last year by eating better, exercising a lot. And I've gotten healthier. A lot of issues have cleared up, and I have more energy for things. It's just, I don't really look quite like I hoped. Ah, of course. You know, I myself was quite unhappy with my self-image before I received Madame Nagaloska's treatment. Her eyes bug out. You were? Oh, most certainly. Always fretting about each little bulge and fold, and never wearing my neckline below here. Gesture below my chin. Wow, really? Most definitely. Now I'm able to come to this convention confident enough to be dressed like this. And I think all those gentlemen asked for pictures weren't just being polite. The news seems to get her halfway to her goal already. Oh, well, I'm glad you got help then. Absolutely. And imagine what she can do for you when it worked on such a homely girl as myself. She giggles, looking even more excited than before. Oh, we got two more girls. We're just gonna go ahead and admire them. Okay. Oh, has anyone else seen the jeans where there's a separate layer of denim that look like wings? I love those. They look so cool. I wish I could have them, but I am poor. I am so poor, and I've got to pick and choose fashion I could actually wear often, for one. She looks familiar. Oh, wait! I'm not sure about her, but I think she is in the other game Cinnamon Switch is working on in Cafe, just because the rabbit girl persona looks really familiar. I think they're in the other game that's coming out, which is fun. Yeah, we've got the attendee badge with 3 buttons on it. Not sure if they're supposed to be designed or just plain like that, but like in a convention, this is pretty much me. Bag, bunch of little fun design stuff on it. Otherwise, normal outfit. Ren fairs, however. Ren fairs I dress up for. Because why not? Everyone else is. There you are, ma'am. It's your turn. Sylvia takes her and leads her behind the curtain. A nervous-looking attendee steps up, on deck for the next session. I had been watching them for a while as they made their way through the line. They would alternate staring at the ground and glancing furtively over their shoulders. A few times they took a step out of line before turning back and retaking their place. Welcome to the front of the line. Yeah, sure. They hold their elbows as tight as they can. So, how long is each session? About just under 10 minutes if you're lucky. Okay. They look relieved, but I can't tell if it's because that estimate is shorter or longer than they expected. Adorable smile, though. Anything troubling you about the process? Oh, I'm not sure. Well, what will you be asking for help with, if you don't mind me asking? Just a phobia? A common phobia? Well, I'm sure she can help with that. It's one of the simpler procedures she offers. Yeah, that's good. divide their attention between the curtain and my obvious curiosity. Enough time passes that they know the current session could end at any moment. So, do you think I can make a special request for how it goes? That depends on what it is, but I'm open to pass along any accommodations you'd require. Well, the thing is, the phobia I want help with is for snakes. Ah, I see. That does complicate things. Yeah, I will check with her. You might only need to look at her eyes, so there's a chance we'll be able to set up a curtain for you. Yeah, that would be nice. Head over the curtain to intercept Sylvia before she opens it on her own. Okay. After leaving a new person behind the curtain, I take a break before heading back to interact with the line. Goodness, we're getting a lot more people than I thought. I dare say Sylvia's getting better at this. Let's not tell her, though. We wouldn't want to go to her head. Don't say that. We make such a good team. The three of us, I mean. Of course, dear. I know what you mean. I'm made newly aware of the fact I've been mostly coasting along on tracks laid by Peggy. Say, Peggy. Yes, dear. You wouldn't want to maybe spend some time at the controls, would you? But you're doing so well. Oh, thanks. I'll try to make sure it doesn't go to my head. But, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't keep you cooped up in there too much. 1 day a week isn't all that much when you think about it. You'll let me have more than just my daily constitutional, you mean? Sure. Maybe it should be a little bit closer to an even split, you know? When it's appropriate. She doesn't respond right away. It would certainly be churlish to reject such a generous offer. Just say the magic words. Turn away from the line to obscure my face. Salted lemon. I'm whisked back from the space of the front of my mind to watch from the back. I can still feel my body, but there's a layer of distancing static between my consciousness and it. Oh, that's just wonderful. You know, I didn't want to appear too desperate, but I really do appreciate the offer. Glad to help. Would have asked for more time in this dress eventually. So nice of you to provide it earlier than later. She runs her hands across the dress as much as she can get away with in public. But there are more guests to take care of. Yes, miss, how can Madame Nagaloska and her lovely assistant help you today? Let Peggy take over for a bit. I'm not quite used to taking a backseat in my body for that long. Peggy hands controls back after a while. Even with her providing me her essence, there's a subtle difference between our manners. Not subtle enough for Sylvia to overlook, though, and she calls Peggy by her name a few times before I come back to the surface. We've settled into such a routine that I have plenty of time to take pictures with anyone who asks for them, and there are plenty of takers. Oh, another attendee girl. Once again, very simple. Jean shorts over tights, leggings, whatever. And a similar setup with a sports shirt underneath a hoodie. Very good look. Hair streak on point. Oh my gosh, I finally got here. Here, you still have one more person in front of you, I hope you know. Yeah, but now I finally get to see you. Up here, in the... I mean, don't tell me you've been waiting in this line this whole time just to see little old me. No, I mean, I didn't want to see you, but I'm also here for Madame Nagaloska, and I guess Gosh, you're so pretty. Sorry, I don't mean to... I mean, I just... Can you tell I'm here to get help with my social anxiety? Just a bit more time. Madame Nagaloska will be able to help. Would you like to take a picture with me before or after your session? Maybe you can do both and see the before and after. Oh, sure, that might be fun. Just about to go in for the photo when I'm jolted to attention by a familiar voice. Margaret? All the day's confidence empties out of me in an instant, as though a drain at the base of my spine has been unplugged. Julie, I know what this looks like. I'm not cheating on you after your route. This is just how things have been. But yeah, for those of you who don't remember, because you didn't see that route or it didn't come up in the summary, Julie is a college friend, I believe, and also past paramour. She's currently in town for a few days. We met up for tea. She's currently day 6, so 6 days ago, with her and Gavin. Sorry, not tea, for drinks at the bar. But yeah, known her for a while, and oh boy. Man, if this game was like even a couple months more recent, this probably would not be the oh whoa shirt, but the that one emoji. You know the meme, the emoji on the shirt, where when it's off person, it's just normal, you see it. When it's on the person, it's inflated to a certain degree, stretched out, one might say. But yeah, this will be interesting. Julie, what are you doing here? She's dressed in her usual clothes, except for a pair of bear ears attached to her head. It's just enough to make her blend in with the rest of the crowd. What am I doing here? You're the one who's taken over this convention. I heard the names Margaret and Nagasaki, not correct, 5 times since walking in the front door. I had to come see if it was you. The idea that the weekend's events would stay bottled up in the convention center shatters. The walls and ceiling around me become flimsier. You have? Yeah, you doing some kind of hypnotherapy thing? I couldn't figure out if it was an act or something. Well, it's just sort of a... I shake my head. Wait, are you a furry? The furries buying me cheesecake picks don't seem to care if I am or not. Sorry, buying my cheesecake picks makes more sense. She flashes a handful of 8x10s in her hand, and I catch a glimpse of a half-naked Julie pouting for a selfie, wearing the same headband paired with some rudimentary face paint. All you need to do is slap on some ears, and they'll pay out the nose for half a boob. I didn't know you were a furry, though. Kind of feel that would have come up in college at some point. I'm suddenly hyper-aware of all the fur on my body. The parts of me that rub up against each other start to chafe. The tail I'd gotten so good at flaunting and gesturing with tucks between my legs. Oh, well, it's kind of part of this whole act we're doing together. It's more of a theming thing. The attendees standing in line look confused at me, downplaying the furry nature of our presence at a furry convention. I think I'm capable of shrinking even more. What is this act you're doing anyway? What are you wearing? You look great, but fuck, I've never seen you in anything so skimpy. Can't stop myself from grabbing the hem of my dress and tugging down. Fortunately, that just pulls my neckline even lower. No, not usually, no. I'm just trying out stuff. Margaret, honey, I know Julie's our friend, but you don't have to let her cow you like this. Yeah, but I don't know what to say to her. I wasn't prepared for this. Sylvia opens the curtain as she finishes another session and slithers out just enough to avoid arousing suspicion. Margaret, is this our next volunteer? No, actually, this is my friend, Julie. Julie, this is Sylvia, my, Tell the truth, Margaret. You can do it. My, girlfriend. Ah, Julie. Nice to meet you. Julie gives Sylvia a once-over. I have a feeling she's the first person to be unimpressed by her gleaming scales and fangs. Wait a second. This is Sylvia you were complaining about at the bar? And now she's your girlfriend? I'm immediately sweltering under my undercoat. Julie, don't tell her that! Sylvia puts a hand on my arm. Don't worry, Margaret, I'm not surprised. I know my behavior was frustrating, but we got through that and realized we actually really like each other. Julie remains unconvinced. Wait, this all happened in the last 4 days. I'm suddenly reminded of how few days it's been since a time that feels like eons ago. Yeah, it's been sort of a whirlwind. What have you been doing this whole time? I even got a job working afternoons at that tea place Gavin runs. I haven't seen you since I got it. Wait, you're working at Tea Friends now? Yeah, I was kind of surprised when you came in, but you never did. Gavin said he hasn't seen you either. Oh, well, I'm happy you got a job with him. It'll be nice seeing you at the shop so often. I really wanted to see you again. Not enough to text, apparently. Words slice me in half. I'm sorry. I've just been really busy. I've been doing a lot of new stuff. Looks like it. She takes another suspicious glance at Sylvia. She's not, putting up to this, is she? But what do you mean? I don't know, you've been dating for 3 days and now you're dyeing your hair, dressing with your tits out, working as her sidekick in this weird sideshow she's running. No, I mean, she's introduced me to a lot of new things this last couple days, but yes, we've both been introducing each other to a lot of new things. We're not compelling each other to do anything. Yeah, sure. I don't know, it just seems like you're diving headfirst into some new relationship and letting her redefine everything about you. You're not acting like yourself. The yawning abyss opens up beneath me. God. Fuck. God. Is she really right? Has Sylvia just been controlling me the whole time since that night? I'm still me, right? Of course, you're still you, Margaret. I can't listen to you about that. Margaret, I'm only here because you let me stay with you. You've wanted to experience all these things. Sylvia and I are just helping you. But am I? Is that true? The chasm below me seems to be swallowing me. Margaret? That's... Tell her what you really feel. I don't even know what I feel. Say what you've let yourself do these last few days. Say what you've been able to do. The abyss slows its advance. Ooh. Content warning. The scene is the merging of personas. Oh. Okay. Gonna need a sip before this. This seems like it's gonna be a little heavy. All right. Well, I can understand this might look a little suspicious. It's only been a few days, I know. And from your perspective, it's such a dramatic difference. And it is, but there's a lot of stuff you've missed. I've kindled a new appreciation for fashion. What clothes can do for me and how I can use them for all sorts of purposes, or what they can do for my self-image. How I can think of myself and my body, that is. How I don't have to be ashamed of it. And that I can even use it to bring me some happiness and excitement. And I've been getting rid of all my self-doubt, too. Weren't you getting on my case the other day for being a doormat? Oh, yeah, I guess. Why are you getting on my case for following your advice? Yes, keep going. I'm standing up for myself now. I've stood up to strangers and my boss, everyone who tried to make me feel less than I should. I stood up for myself to Sylvia, even. Yeah, she's not shy about speaking her mind. I'm not remaking myself to fit with her desires. I'm remaking myself to be the person I want to be. That's it, darling. Darkness beneath me is replaced with a warm, amber glow. Peggy's filling me with more of her essence than ever before. It's not just a stream of water I can turn on and off. It's the sea I find myself sailing in. I mean, really, Jules, you're concerned about me like this? I've got a throng of followers queuing up for hours to see me and my gorgeous girlfriend, and you think this is a problem somehow? If I didn't know you were such a dear friend, I might think you were jealous of how well we're cleaning up at this convention. Julie is successfully knocked back on her heels. No, I'm still getting a lot of pics. I'm doing just fine. I wouldn't doubt it. You've always been such a cute little thing. She's rattled by the terms she's used to using on me. Oh, thanks. You've just got to let me buy you a full set of photos from you. I miss that cuddly body of yours since we hooked up in college. I'm sure Sylvia's not the jealous type, are you, honey? Not at all. Julie holds the photos tight enough that I'm worried she'll crease them. Oh, sure. If I have any left over, I can give you them for free. I'd love that. Why don't I pick them up at Tea Friends next time I'm there? I'll call ahead and make sure it's during one of your shifts. Then I can have you over at my place and we'll have another movie night like back in the day. I'll make a bunch of, oh boy, caipirinhas? That drink. And we'll pig out on nacho tater tot. Oh, now I'm hungry for cheese and potatoes. Of any sort right now. Fuck. Just like old times. Such a specific sample seems to both surprise and mollify her. Oh, yeah. Those nights were great. And you'll, have the time? For my best friend, I'll make the time. I have a feeling she'll take the opportunity to grill me more later, but she seems a little bit more at ease. Sure, cool. So, I've got more songs to do. I'll see you around. I look forward to it. She twiddles her fingers in goodbye and shuffles away into the crowd. Whew, that was something. Thanks for giving so much support there, Peggy. No, wait, did I take control just now? Margaret didn't use the trigger word. Did you, Margaret? Margaret? Peggy? I look inside myself and can't find anyone else there with me. Wait, what's going on? Who's in charge now? Trace the last few minutes back to see where handoff occurred. I don't remember any happening. It's more, I remember both sides of the conversation we had when Julie confronted us. Going further back, I remember every moment the last few days from both perspectives. I remember flirting with Gavin and my night with Sylvia. I recall the shopping trip and waking up from it. What's more is, I remember looking into Peggy's eyes and Margaret's eyes and my subconscious. Oh my god. Did we merge? Margaret, are you okay? Yes, I think something might have happened with us, though. Oh, do you need some help with that? I'm not sure. I stand there ankle deep in a shallow pool of dizziness. Sorry, is the line still moving? Oh, sorry. Are you okay to keep going, Margaret? We can take a break if you need one. It takes a moment to come up with an honest answer. I find I'm still just as full of bravado as I was before Julie appeared. I think so. I put some more authority in my voice. Yes, sorry for the unplanned theatrics, folks. We mustn't keep Madame Nagaloska's public waiting, Sylvia takes my word and the hand of the next person waiting in line. Left to deal with the crowd and a nagging, existential burr in the back of my mind. Don't worry, my good people. You'll have your session soon enough. The night ends earlier than it did yesterday for a number of reasons. We had already been going for some time, and we wanted to allow ourselves a good night's sleep on top of that. Also, there was the small existential consideration that I wasn't quite sure who I was anymore. I filled in Sylvia with enough details to keep her from worrying too much. The car ride home didn't offer much more of a chance to talk with the driver there. He'd gotten remarkably used to ferrying around a snake woman and her now fuzzy girlfriend, but some things still warranted some discretion. I hold the door open for Sylvia and wait the time it takes to get all her tale in before closing it behind us. So, do you want to talk about it now, or are you tired? I can't claim I'm not, but I think I ought to figure this all out. That sounds good. So, what happened exactly? I think you mentioned something about losing touch with someone? Well, I suppose that's sort of a sideways manner of looking at it. No one else is in my head but me, but I don't think I'm exactly Margaret or Peggy. Are you someone new? Do you have a name? I suppose I might be new. I still have all of their memories. So I don't feel like I'm a totally novel personality. I suppose I'm probably Margaret in a way, because I have her memories and body. It just feels a little inexact. And this happened when you were talking to Julie? Yes, when I was talking to... Cocked my head at the idea of using the pronoun. Well, when Julie was talking to Margaret, she said how Margaret wasn't acting like herself, and she had this crisis of selfhood. Like, what if Julie was right? Peggy tried to reassure her, but since her presence is a product of all this new mind manipulation, it was hard for Margaret to believe her. Eventually, Peggy encouraged Margaret to plead her case that the things she was doing were things she wanted to do, but only now had the ability to. At some point, I think I was the one speaking, and when I stopped, I couldn't find anyone else in here with me. It sounds like the two of you might have merged together. That's what I thought, but I don't know. Neither of them explicitly tried to do that. You don't think I made them disappear, do you? Don't worry about that. Even when Peggy took over, Margaret was still there after a single command. I doubt you could do something that serious so easily, especially after such a positive experience. I bristle at her claiming the experience was positive, but then I think back on it. Well, I guess it was positive. It felt good to let that part of my personality out, but it also felt good to be permitted to do that. It's as though I was glad to open a door for someone, and I was also grateful that someone opened it for me. It sounds a little disorienting. It is, but it's almost only disorienting. Like, everything would be fine if I knew what on earth was going on. Would you like some help with that, then? I mean, sure, but how many people have you already helped today? Dozens, I'd imagine. Don't get your eyes tired, dear. Don't your eyes get tired, dear. It's no problem at all. Think I'm going to help all those people and not help my girlfriend? Well, those people don't have access to you at all hours. I'm not going to do anything before you ask. But I can try to help you untangle this whenever you want. And a dozen needling worries make me hesitate spanning from concern for Sylvia to dread at learning what I'll find under my consciousness. But none of them are good enough to make me refuse the offer. If you insist. Okay. We can do it right here then, if that's okay. I can't think of a better place. Let's begin then, Margaret. Look into my eyes. And this definitely seems to call for more drink. One sec. Oh, yeah. Okay. Bump up the audio. Okay. We will continue. The first command I've heard from her in 48 hours reintroduces me to their power. Her fully slitted eyes, the ones I thought I'd seen and appreciated, now dominate all my attention. Until now, I never noticed how entrancing they are. Her pupils look like a portal beyond the stars, to a realm untouched by light or gravity. We're going to retrace our steps back into your subconscious mind. Do you remember when we did that? I do. Then this might be a little easier this time. Why do you remember how we prepared you? How we made this very apartment disappear? Remember how easy and right it was to discard the material world around you? The room around me vanishes away again, but much more easily this time. Once informed of the transience of the physical reality around me, it's much easier to dismiss. Once again, there's nothing but Sylvia's voice and presence to guide and comfort me. Didn't realize how chapped my lips were for a second there. Oh yeah, that feels better. Is it just us now? It is. Is it more comfortable now? Trusting me? Being supported by me? It is. Another benefit of being my girlfriend, Still not far enough under to avoid a sleepy giggle. Yeah. Then, let's wait for the train to pass. God damn. Okay, it should be far enough away now. Then, let's go down into your subconscious again. Travel that same path into your mind. Make yourself smaller while drawing yourself inside. Your mind is your center. Realign yourself with that center. Oof. Maxting, I'm sorry you had to deal with that. If only because there are so many times in life you just simply can't avoid trains. Unless you do nothing but stay at home or pick areas without trains near your route to and from anywhere. Which is sadly not enough. Too much of the country is trainless, despite how effective and cost-efficient they are. Helps that one of your babysitters was immensely fond of trains and planes. That's good, at least. Always nice having people who can help with things like that. You might say that much of the population is untrained. Yes, very good pun. And that is the worst part of all. A lack of trains is a very bad thing. But with both the cost and ecological impact of planes, and water not being much better, at least in terms of time. Yeah, back to the hypno. Your mind is your center. Realign yourself with that center. Find myself traveling through a groove I'd formed in my mind. An emptiness, inside space that acts as a conduit to draw me within. Deep. Lose track of Sylvia's eyes, but I'm still carried by her voice and presence. Deep. Warmth, familiarity left from my last visit to my subconscious approaches from inside me. The comforting refuge I'd created welcomes me. Deep. And now I see it. The cozy study with Peggy's annex attached. Only a few moments left until I'm there. And arrived. Words seem to set me down in the room like a doll into a dollhouse. I'm left to wonder if she could have done it at the moment. She told me to look into her eyes. Can you hear me? I can. Is everything how you remember it? Soaking the ambience of the crackling fire, the steaming tea, and the fully stocked wardrobe. It is. That's a good sign, then. If it's still the same subconscious, that means you haven't lost anything. The thought is as comforting as my surroundings. Oh, yes, of course. Okay. Now here comes the harder part. I want you to shut your eyes. I want you to bring Margaret, Peggy out as distinct entities. I dutifully shut my eyes, at least the ones I think I have in this cognitive state. I want you to remember the experiences you've had as Margaret and Peggy, the desires and goals you've held, the moments that made you feel like yourselves. I recall everything I'm able to, starting with this afternoon and going backward. I have fewer memories as Peggy, but they're still just as vivid. My attraction to Sylvia is shared by both sets of thoughts. It's a distinctive common ground between both. They diverge more beyond that. I remember how good it was to assert my desires, how scared I was about letting them consume the rest of my life. A dual set of viewpoints superimpose themselves, like two images reflected in a single gemstone. Can you picture them? I can, but they're sort of overlapping. Let's separate them then. Push all of Margaret's memories and associations to one side and Peggy's to another. I concentrate on the conceptual ideas in front of me and push them to either side like I'm sorting through a box of old photos. No hierarchy is attached to either, no preference assigned, just two distinct, if overlapping, sets. Each happy memory is just as cherished no matter who it belongs to, but they have to go in one of the two piles. In time, everything is separated. Okay, they're done. Good. On the count of 3, I want Margaret and Peggy to both open their eyes. Are you ready? I certainly hope so. All right. 1, 2, 3. Open my eyes and see. Peggy! Margaret, dearest! We rush toward each other in embrace, experiencing the uncanny sensation of hugging one's own body. I was so worried about you. I thought something terrible happened to you. Please, don't be mad I kept working with Sylvia at the con instead of fixing this right away. No, it was my fault for insisting the show go on. It was dreadfully reckless of me. But I made the decision to continue living near this train, apparently. Yeah. Let's all just take a sip of whatever drinks we have on hand while we wait a couple seconds. I guess another train is coming the other direction, so soon after the first. That's good stuff. But I made that decision. No, I distinctly remember making that decision. We think back to how much we felt in control. Wait, I remember I remember doing everything since meeting Julie. Me too. I thought I might have kicked you out somehow. That's what I thought too. As confusing as it is, everything points to our initial hypothesis. So we did merge. We must have. Does that put your minds at ease then? Hearing Sylvia's voice boom inside her head is a jarring reminder of her presence. Yes, I was sick at the thought of losing her. Me too. Though it's a little funny hearing that after you tried taking over 4 days ago. Well, it's okay. I came here with the intention of kicking you out after all. Weird how much difference a few days can make. Truer words. We sigh in relief. We had no idea just how nervous we felt until we feel some solace. But Sylvia has to bring up the pressing question. So, what do the two of you want to do? Would you like to maintain a distinction, or would you like to remerge and come out as you came in? That sounds like a unanimous consent from the train. Remerge. It's like, fucking Christ. Trains are so loud. I get why, but it doesn't mean they can't be an annoyance sometimes. Neither of us wants to make the first move, but one of us has to. Well, I think Peggy might have the most relevant opinion. Are you sure? Yeah, I mean, you perceived yourself as being in control this afternoon, right? That's true, yeah. That's more than you usually get to do, right? I suppose. Though that's still asking quite a lot from you. But I felt the same way. I still felt in control and felt like myself, just more of myself. Yeah. You really share that with me? Your body and your relationships and your whole life? Sure. It's why I kept you around in the first place. I wanted someone to help me do all the things I was afraid of doing. If you're up on top with me all the time, it's even easier. That's so generous of you. The other day when I merged, I thought remaining on top with you was the only way I could keep any autonomy. I had a chance to live a full, distinct life, and I was willing to lock you up to do it. I was so sure a nice girl like Margaret wouldn't let me live my life as I wanted. Even after we made our initial deal, I had hoped you'd trip up and I'd be the one up top most of the time. In my desperation, I didn't even give you a chance to hear my case. Thought there's no way you'd let me act on your behalf unless I took patrol. Turns out I was mistaken. I dare say I underestimated you. Hopefully more people get the chance to. So, do you want to do it? Are you serious, darling? This is the best deal I could imagine. Much nicer than a daily constitutional. We both chuckle. Very well then. We can put the two of you back together. We both smile at the idea. First, though, I'd like to ask if there's something I should call you once we do. I feel like simply calling you Margaret isn't gonna express the totality of who you are. Oh dear, I hadn't even thought of that. Oh, yeah, I guess that would be sort of lopsided. We both stand in thought for a moment. Oh, I know. You called me Maggie a few times these last few days. Maybe that makes sense. When you called me that, it felt like the personality we created was a joint effort, with you pushing me to be a bit more than I was already. You certainly have a way of making things sound poetic. I was mostly teasing you. Well, looks like it backfired, and now it's your name too. We share a quick laugh. Is that amenable to both of you? Yeah, it's appropriate if nothing else. Let's bring you back then. Would you like to do anything before we leave? It seems silly to do anything like say goodbye, considering we'll be coming up together. But missing the chance for one last hug seems unfitting. We wrap our arms around each other in a warm embrace. Thank you, Margaret. Thank you, Peggy. We release and take a step back, ready to receive our instructions. All right. We're going to put you back to how you were before you came in here. First, we'll have you look into each other's eyes. We both stare back at one another. They're the same eyes I've looked into every day in the mirror. But behind them is a whole new part of the person I'm about to become. An entire new self is awaiting me. Now, I want you both to close your eyes again. We want to recombine those memories and conceptions. Close our eyes and once again see the two sets belonging to each of us. Bring them together again. Make that new whole that you built together. Jeez. Magical girl transformation sequence go, I guess. The two sets draw back in toward each other, mingling and overlapping. It's quicker this time, now that there's no need for separation. Every bit is just as relevant as the next. In no time, they're all mixed, and the refracting gem contains all that it's supposed to. As my memories and feelings merge, I feel my physical self coalescing as well. It feels like we're hugging again, but the borders between ourselves start to fade as I take on Peggy, as she takes on me. Distinctions and divisions melt in a blinding light of oneness, as the reaction of our unity is catalyzed by Sylvia's words. But all those thoughts and ideas into one person make her the ultimate amalgamation of all the best parts of you. The new me formed in the forge of my subconscious burns bright. Actually, you know what? I think this is going in the final thumbnail for this route. This is cute, it's pretty, and it's got both the mouse and the mink. It's both of them at once. Till, all at once, the heat and light vanishes. I'm left, alone and singular. My hands clasped together instead of holding on to the other me. So maybe not much has changed after all. If you're done, let's bring you back out of your subconscious mind. There's the achievement, I am thou, thou art I. Reach out to your own self. We feel ourselves growing, rushing up and out of the cavern inside of us. Back. The sanctum of our subconscious is left far behind as we return to the world. Back. Return to Sylvia's apartment around us, the floor beneath us, and Sylvia's eyes in front of us. Back. I open my eyes and see Sylvia's scaled, smiling face. How are you doing, Maggie? I'm wonderful. God, I didn't know I was there for a second, but now I'm me. I'm Maggie. It's different to say it out loud with my tongue and lips and vocal cords. A concept that had only been conceived in thought becomes tangible. The clothes I'm wearing now are Maggie's clothes. My apartment is now Maggie's. More importantly, Maggie's girlfriend is standing right in front of me. Or rather, coiled. I'm glad. I step forward and take her hand. Run the claw and my thumb between the creases of her scales. Are you now? I'm wondering if you should be. I'm not sure you've grasped the ramifications of making your girlfriend like this. Maybe you should have kept meek little Margaret in charge. Might have saved you a lot of trouble. Scales on her face are too opaque to let her blushing shine through. Oh, I don't know. Margaret wasn't all that meek the other night. Then just think what you're in for with me. Shiver in the small of her back travels down the full length of her tail. It takes a couple seconds. Like what? Take my other hand, rest on the cool, hard surface where her tail meets her hips. You'll find out soon enough. But first, I thought I'd share an observation I made earlier today. Oh? What's that? It's about what you said this morning. About wanting to cover up so you weren't flashing the whole convention all day. My precious girlfriend wanted to preserve her modesty, didn't she? Of course. What kind of woman do you take me for? Flash my fangs. The kind who goes around without underwear on all day. Her tail coils tightly around herself. Well, I really didn't have any options for that. My claw finds a ridge, one for bands in front, and traces between them. Oh, I suppose not, but you still went through with it. Went through with performing all day with nothing between throngs of people and the slit that holds your pretty little snake dicks, except for a single layer of fabric. And her fang bites her lip hard enough to nearly draw blood. I covered up at least. Shh. Don't worry, Sylvia. I'm on your side. You had to spend the whole day with your beautiful girlfriend, dressed up like this with her tits, ass, and tail out. And you couldn't let yourself get aroused, could you? Much too easy to see your excitement with nothing holding them in place, Sylvia twists her tail, the tip rising in a nervous spiral. Yeah? Move my claw underneath her skirt, inching closer to where her womanhood lies hidden. My, that must have been dreadfully frustrating. I simply can't imagine. It was tough, yeah. My poor little serpentine princess. I must do something about all that pent-up energy, don't you think? All right, scene summary. Maggie coaxes Sylvia's two penises out of her and then tosses her on the couch, which is the most impressive part of that sentence, because fucking all that snake tail. She teases Sylvia before initiating cowgirl. Sylvia reveals this will be her first time penetrating someone during sex. Sylvia uses her hypnotic powers to initiate sex, and eventually commands Maggie to come. Alright, fun fact for the real-world hypnotism. It is actually impossible for hypnosis to make you do something you would never consider. Like, you can't hypnosis someone into committing murder, unless it's someone they were already willing to murder. It can remove the stumbling blocks that would keep you from doing it, like society and culture, morals that you don't particularly agree with. It might make you willing to, go out in public without underwear, because fucking normal people do that all the time. Like, I've worked in a gas station. I've had to clean the women's restrooms. There are women who, having ruined their underwear, just leave it in the little trash bins of each stall, where it's supposed to just be like tampons and pads when you're done swapping out. Like, we're not going to make a customer leave a stall, toss it in a garbage thing out there before changing. Or worse, holding on to it or trying to flush it. But, like, your underwear, unless you brought spares in with you, because I can assure you, our customers do not have any sort of selection in the store. They're going out without underwear, under whatever they're wearing, pants, skirt, what have you. So that's one of the easy morals, just like hypnosis past, but the willingness to murder or like have sex for like an asexual person, hypnosis can't get past that. You can't force people to do it. But yeah, just wanted to share that fun fact. This brief break for what should be the last section of game. It's midway through the afternoon when the final attendee steps out from behind the booth curtain. The con itself ended at noon, and most of the other booths are already disassembled or just about to be. That's when we cut off entrance to the line and have been working our way through since. Thanks for coming today, Mark. Glad we were able to get a start on dealing with the issues. Yeah, it felt really good to get started. Necessary. I'm glad you think so. So, do you think you'd want to follow-up text confirm you found a therapist you think works for you? I could even look some up if you think that'd help. Yeah, a follow-up would be nice. And I'll try finding one myself first. I looked into it a little bit a few months ago. Great. I'll check with you in 10 days. I'll talk with you then. And thanks again, Miss Nagaloska. You're welcome. You're right this way, sir. Thank you for being our final guest during our engagement this weekend. I escorted him away from the booth and into the empty aisle marked with painter's tape that delineated the booths that once lined it. He walks with a subtle confidence towards the exit. Another one a little above our pay grade? Yeah, we definitely got the ball rolling, though. I think he'll be set up well when he gets some professional help. You're alright? Oh, yeah, for sure. Feel like we've been lucky with it this weekend. I've only had to send a couple people to an actual therapist, and for them, I mostly helped them feel they were up to it. Sylvia demonstrates that even snakes are capable of rueful smiles. I let her sit with the emotion for a moment. Well, the convention organizer's been awfully patient with us, but I imagine we'll have to take the booth down eventually. Oh, yeah. I'll get myself back to normal in there before we head out. No need to stay a snake for the rest of the evening. I'll probably have to borrow some shoes, though. Eager to get back to your usual self, are we? Well, I had planned on attending this big, fancy social event this evening. It's black tie and everything. But by now, it's too late to get changed, and then do hair and makeup in time to attend. I could probably miss one event and still stay a socialite. Then why the hurry? We saw the benefits of that body of yours last night, after all. Maybe. I'll probably drink some more tea. Later. At some point. She glances over at the booth where she spent most of the last few days. It just seems like, well, this is the end of this whole episode. Probably time to stop playing dress-up. Her sniff travels all the way up her serpentine snout. I step forward and put a hand on her arm. It's like, I must say, I never expected you to be the sort to turn down dressing up. Chuckles enough to prevent her first tear. Yeah, but this is the last time I'll do this for a while. At least until next year when the convention comes again. Why wait that long? What else would I do? You do it full time. Sylvia's eyes are so wide I get the best look at her pupils yet. Like, do this as a job? Why not? You soon have a knack for it, after all. But we're going to run out of tea at some point, right? You don't think you can do the same thing without it? I think you'll be almost as adept without its aid. You think? I know. Hasn't this been some of the most fulfilling work you've ever done? I suppose. She runs through her memories the last few days. I mean, it's definitely the most fulfilling thing I've ever done. More than my magic act or a job at Barlow's. That seems as good a reason as any to pursue a career in it. But I have to go back to school for that. I'm too old to go back now, right? Sylvia, a word of advice. Avoid telling your elders you're too old to start something new. You might discourage them. Come on, Maggie, you're only 3 years older than me. And I'm not done starting new chapters in my life. I'm considering starting a new business venture I've been putting off for some time. Just think how much easier it'll be for you to start something new. Fang breaks her lower lip. I mean, I guess I could look into a counseling degree. With your new diligent persona, you'll get through it even easier than before. My new what? She only needs a few seconds of me grinning to catch on. Oh, right. God, it's been a few days since I've been Spicy Apple. The full length of her body tenses and her tail scrapes against carpet as she goes rigid. She emerges from the episode back to her old self. I should really take a load off after all this work, huh? I wouldn't mind helping you do so. So, still want to turn back for the evening? Nah, I should try out being full snake at least once. Give me at least one more night to sleep on your coils. It's been doing wonders for my back. I do love seeing my slinky mink girlfriend all curled up in me. We embrace, and Sylvia's brave enough to wrap some of her tail around my ankles. Shall I call your chariot then? Yeah, they might have a few luggage cots free this late. Day 11, which I think is to jump forward by 2 days. Meet your new friend, same as your old friend. What I hope is the final segment of this route. But another good time for sips. Get your sips, everybody. In fact, I'm going to enforce it with a command I don't think many people have actually gotten to see. Boom. Take a fucking sip, babes. Alrighty. Oh, that's good. Welcome to Tea Friends during a lunch break of work. They're much easier to take now that Sylvia can be counted on to be there. But thanks, Streamlabs, for the automatic reminder I have go through. There's also a new employee being trained at this very moment. There's no reason to feel guilty about taking the full hour off. Not that I should have felt guilt in the past, but it's nice to know that even the old me wouldn't feel bad about it. There you are. It's a bit uncanny. Seeing Julie behind the counter in an apron. It's as if my brain unknowingly swapped which friend is supposed to appear in which location. Regardless, it's good to see her again. Hi, Julie. The uniform suits you splendidly, I must say. It's just an apron. Exactly. Gavin emerges from the back room and catches my eye. Oh, nice to see you. Thanks for visiting us again. Julie crinkles her nose at him. Again? What do you mean again? Oh, she visited last week. Said she wanted to come again and browse some more. She did? Yeah. That's what your friend Margaret did last week? One sec. Let's just go back a message. Change of the face right here. Happy, smiling, and then reality shattered. Sorry for not swinging by earlier, and sorry for not wearing that top you liked so much. I just thought I should get more mileage out of the rest of my new wardrobe. Looks like Gavin's heart has stopped in his chest. I'm sorry. Oh, Gavin, don't be such a worrywart. I was the one being flirty. I hope you'll find in your heart to forgive me for teasing you. Gavin's more flustered than I'd ever seen him. Oh, sure. I mean, if that was all for fun, that is. Not that either of us were lying. Julia's had enough of being left in the dark. Okay, what's going on here? Oh, I just visited the other day. Gavin didn't recognize me after my makeover. I had a little fun and pretended to be someone else for my visit. You seriously didn't recognize her? She looked really different. And she had this whole voice she was using. She doesn't look that different. I was able to recognize her even when she's wearing all that furry makeup. There's new depths of confoundment Gavin is capable of. The what? Yeah, she was at the furry con dressed like a weasel or something with her fuzzy tits out. Really? I was impressed you recognized me so easily, I'll admit. Then again, we have been friends for much longer. But I'm here for those cheesecake pics you promised me. If you haven't sold out, of course. She looks like she'd rather claim she has, but she hands me a manila envelope. Lovely. This will be a nice keepsake from the convention. I didn't have enough free time to buy any of those cute little stickers all those artists were selling. Now that Julie has paid her ransom, she feels entitled to grill me. So what the hell's going on anyway? How'd you start acting like this in less than 2 weeks? Oh, thought you might have guessed from the booth Sylvia and I were running. Wait, Sylvia's involved in this hat now? Yeah, they were both running a booth at the con, like a hypnotherapy thing. Well, there you go. Julia's face blanches. You were hypnotized? A few times. By Sylvia. She's the one who knows how to do it. Wait, did she change her personality? Only in the ways I asked her to. Gavin and Julie looked at each other in alarm. Are you okay? Julie, I already went over this with you last time. I'm fantastic. Wait, are you still... well, you? And more. Listen, I know you might find it disconcerting. Hypnotism doesn't have the most benign connotation. But it's helped me be who I want to be. At least a version of myself I'd like to be. Maybe I could have asked Sylvia to adjust the dials a little differently, but this is what I asked for. Think of it like adding expansion onto a house. You've still got everything you love about your place, only now there's more room to do more things. So we still have our friend? It's a level of sincerity and vulnerability that's unusual for her. I make sure to reward it. Of course you do. Really, do you think I'd dump this information on just anyone? I can only trust my best friends with this kind of thing. That's why I came here. I wanted to let you know you still have a friend who appreciates you and wants to keep being friends. Just wait. You'll find out I'm still myself in all the ways you like. I'm just a little more fun is all. I drop some of my bravado and attempt to show some of the same vulnerability Julie has. Look, this is really new for me too. I'm pretty confident I'm who I want to be, but it never hurts to have a second opinion. So I'd like you two to make sure I'm still someone worth being your friend. Will you give it a shot with me? Gavin and Julie share a cautious glance. Well, I guess we can try. Though if you start acting too weird, I'm going to throw you in a van and find someone to deprogram you. The sign of any true friendship. How about you, Gavin? I'm straining his ability to keep up, but he's trying his best. I mean, I guess I could. I still can't believe you actually do this kind of stuff with his hypnotism. Oh, that's not even the weirdest part. You haven't heard about that tea that gives... Sorry. You haven't heard about how that tea you gave me turns people into animals. I really should be nicer to him. It does what now? Julie, did you really think that was all just makeup the other day? Well, it did look pretty impressive. That's because it was real mink fur. Ethically sourced, too. Grew it all myself. We still have some bags of that tea left over. I figured I'd let you know since it came from your store after all. Oh. Yes. I guess I could take a look at it. For research purposes. I'll have to bring it by sometime. Or just have you two over for a nice house party. I do owe Julie some nachos. Now, let's see how much more catching up we can do before I'm needed back at Barlow's. Day 49. Massive shift. This is another 38 days in the future. Into the Mink's den. What have we found out about ourselves and society? And that tea. Ooh. They're moving in together. Fuck yes. We walk in the front door of my apartment, carrying the smallest items that were in the moving truck. I know we're paying for the movers to handle everything, but my conscience won't let me walk up to my apartment without bringing something up. Still, I wanted to come up quickly to make sure I don't need to clear away any last few things for them. Sylvia stands in the doorway with a twinge of unease in her eyes. Welcome to your new home, dear. Thanks. She peers around, gauging how much she can see of her new living quarters from her vantage point. And we're sure we'll have enough room here. Made my whole place a little big, but we've got another place closer to... Sylvie... She swallows her words. We're trying to get you independent from your folks, remember? We're not having them pay for your new graduate course and a downtown penthouse. It's smaller than you're used to, but we got all those mini wardrobes to keep your clothes. Maybe we can get a place in town once we start making more, but we're going to have to live within our means until then. You'll hardly notice the commute. Once we get you used to riding the train, of course. She looks sufficiently chastised. Yeah, you're right. I'm just not used to sharing a living space with someone. I'll do my best to make it even then. There are some things I can store to make room for more of your things. I've been letting clutter stick around anyway. My filtro de barro is just taking up space, to be honest. I gotta look up what that is. Because I assume filtro is filter of some sort. But what sort of filter? Filtro de barro. What it... That looks like a tea holder thing. Okay, I'm going to do translate. A mud filter? Is that literal? Well, it's Portuguese for sure. Okay, no. So, mud filter's literal translation. It's a... Oh, it's a clay-based water filter. Okay. Okay, I see sentences and context really help with that. Huh. That's interesting. Your... What? I gesture towards its place on the shelf. Oh, is it this thing? It's kind of... Some, here, well, it kind of... The images I saw pop up look really similar to that. That barrel-looking thing over there? It's a filter for tap water. Sylvia looks alarmed. Is the water out here safe to drink? Sylvia, I live in Brixton, not Siberia. We're 40 minutes outside the city. I just keep it around for when my parents visit, since it's what they're used to. Oh, yeah. That was silly. Sorry. Do they visit often? Only a few times a year. I'm much more likely to visit their place. She works up far too much courage for her next question. Do you think they'd want to meet me the next time you see them? Of course. I've already told them we're dating. They'd love to see you. Okay, that's good to hear. I don't know how much they care about you dating girls. Oh, they got over that when I was in college. Now they're just impressed I'm able to bring home such pretty ladies. They've moved on to give me a hard time about not being as put together as the girls I date. Margaret, your date spent all this effort to get dressed and made up nice, and you come in the same old sweater. Sylvia sighs in relief. Well, you're way better equipped for that now. Good thing, since you're going to be the prettiest girl I've brought home yet. She blushes at that. I mean, I don't know about that. Sylvia, do I need you to hypnotize me again so you know I'm telling the truth? I wouldn't turn it down. Let's help these movers out, so they'll be out of our hair sooner. I'll show you where to put those away. She eagerly follows me to the bedroom for what's surely not the last time today. Day 132. 121 days after coming out to our friends. Oh, wait, we are making our move? What? What's happening? This is almost 3 months later. Walk upstairs to the business banking department of the downtown branch. It's 20 seconds past the time my appointment starts, which means they'll likely be looking up from their desks to see if I make it. The open door is just where I left it a week ago when I was scoping out the branch. Hello, I'm here for Mr. Plinsky. He's staying at his desk like I expect him to be. Ah, yes, Mr. Campos. You're here for a business loan, correct? Yes, of course. Thanks so much for remembering my name. No need to thank me. It's just nice to know you're taking the appointment seriously. He doesn't expect the response. Hopefully it's not the only time I surprise him. So, I already sent over the details from requirements, but I brought along my LLC information, along with my EIN, phone, email, and web address. There's also my account details, that business checking account I opened at your fine institution several months ago. Pull a paper out from the briefcase I'd brought with me. It's actually Sylvia's, but she admitted she purchased it mostly for looks and didn't have any of her own FX to remove. Oh, certainly. I do have those to pull up if we need them. Just for your personal preference. After all, I want you to know I'm serious too. Of course. I was a little surprised that you requested an in-person application. Most people these days just do the online process, especially someone your age. Oh, I just find it a little impersonal is all. I'm much more interested in letting you know just how passionate I am about this venture. If I can't convince some disinterested party face-to-face that the project is worthwhile, how could I possibly expect to convince the public? I suppose that's true. This is for a cafe you are hoping to open. Not just a cafe. Destination for both bibliophiles and tea connoisseurs alike. A retail and dining experience unlike anything in New Greenshire, and far too uncommon in this country. All backed by decades worth of experience between my partners and I across the fields of literature, retail, and Camellia sinensis. Take out a bound volume from my briefcase. I've already constructed a business plan with a prospectus that includes a budget for everything from retail space to fixtures to cutlery. There's also a market evaluation of the local and regional appetite for such a business, and a dozen examples of similar establishments and equivalent markets. I think you'll find the reading cafe concept to be an untapped market in our community. Also, there are a few fabric swatches for the upholstery, if you really want to be thorough. He swallows and takes the folio with both hands. Oh, well, it certainly looks thorough. I'm sure you'll make a considered judgment when you have the time, but I'd rather make the pitch directly. If you're willing to hear it, that is. Certainly. Thank you. We all know the best way to enjoy some tea and a good book is paired together, but what happens when you try to procure either? No books at a tea shop, no tea at a bookshop. Oh, sure, the latter might offer you some barely lukewarm water and a bag of expired, store-brand black tea, but that's hardly an attraction. A real refuge, a true haven to indulge, is what customers want. Not a chain coffee shop with uncomfortable stools who will shoo you away if you're enjoying your novel a touch too long. They want large quantities of comfortable seating, allowing them to indulge in reading, perhaps buy another pot or two of dandelion tea during their stay. Patrons will keep coming back to read our library-quality collection of books. Free to read, of course, but by using our provided bookmarks to keep their place, they'll be called back to finish the tale, and purchase more tea as well as their own copy, of course. All this operating in an employee-owned structure that will retain workers who develop expertise, as well as relationships with their customers. Customers will appreciate a business that doesn't just churn through minimum wage employees who are desperate for a better opportunity. His reaction is what I'd anticipated. That's quite a convincing vision, backed up by the solid figures you hold in your hand. Now, I'm sure you're a busy man who want to make sure all those numbers add up. You're going to need more than just a slick sales pitch to approve, of course. If you wanted, I could stick around for any questions you have about the estimates, or I could spare you my looming over your shoulder. Whichever you prefer. No, you've been plenty persuasive already. I think we can review your proposal on our own. Wonderful. Thank you so much for your time. I know you'll make the right decision. Good afternoon. Wave goodbye and stride confidently out of the office. Gavin should be pleased with how it went. 224, okay. 213 days. Trying to do my math right, so it's 20. So it'd be 11 months later. Not quite smash cuts, but still funny. Sorry, just turning down a little space heater in my room, because it's starting to get really toasty. William's Minnesota paradigm is a directive approach. Right. An older man becoming more adept at certain cognitive tasks while declining in others would be an example of someone's selective optimization with compensation. Baltus. Right, Baltus. I knew that. 4 categories of group work are counseling, task, psychotherapy, and encounter. Ugh, psychoeducational? Right, stupid. Oh, right, because she's sitting. I was just like, oh, hey, Maggie, how'd you get so tall? Into the front door to see Sylvia sitting on the couch, with books and flashcards littering the coffee table. Hi, sweetie. Oh, hi, Maggie. How are things coming along at the cafe? Kicking and screaming, I'm afraid. Turns out the electrical system isn't quite as up to code as we were led to believe. We're going to have to rip out some of the paneling, but at least we didn't get too far in our furnishing before finding out. Gavin's got a connection with someone who'll give us a friend rate. Sounds like it could have been worse, at least. It's just my hubris for thinking I could start my own business. How are your studies coming along? Oh, they're fine. Just going over flashcards for a test. I'll make sure to keep quiet for you then. Oh, don't worry about that. Settles back down on the couch with her deck. Head to the kitchen to grab a snack for myself. Choose the least crunchy option to avoid disturbing Sylvia. Nibble on a few strawberries from the fridge. Every so often I hear Sylvia muttering from the couch. Fritz pearls at the Esalen Institute. Duh! Chews the inside of her cheek as she berates herself under her breath. Sylvia, you sure you're all right? Oh, yeah, I just haven't gotten as many correct as I want to. Covering one subject at a time is fine, but when it's a big grab bag for a test with all these names, it's... Well, don't work yourself ragged. If you need to take a break, we can do something together. No, I should really get through this deck. She returns for a deck, and I flip on the electric kettle. The crackling of the water isn't enough to overpower Sylvia's mumbling. She hisses to herself, wriggling on the couch in discomfort. It goes on for long enough that I consider asking again if she's all right. Then I hear something familiar. Spice and bramble. What was that, dear? I said spicy apple. She bolts up from the couch. I'm not cut out for this. I'm not cut out for this when I'm normal. I'm not even cut out for this when I'm smart. I'm not supposed to do this. It was cute when I was helping furs get to sleep better, but this is too real. She folds her arms and turns away, shoulders hunched. Wait until I'm sure she's done before approaching. Sylvie, dear, do you want to talk? What was that, sweetie? I said I don't want to engage in cognitive reappraisal. No chuckling won't help make her feel better, but it's hard avoiding the temptation. See, you can't help yourself. You're too knowledgeable about this stuff to avoid using it. That's like 101 stuff. It's not impressive. I could have done that years ago. Maybe you could have, but you are doing it now. And you're doing so much now. You've taken on a double course load this semester and you're still keeping up. Barely keeping up. I'm not acing every test or getting by without studying all the time. And it's tough. You're permitted to take a break from time to time, but you're still doing good enough. I don't know. What even is good enough? Getting my superpowers in honey peach mode isn't enough to make me breeze through all this. When I run into something really tough later on, what am I going to do? The moment I screw up, my client's going to take one look at me and what I'm wearing and think, I knew I shouldn't have trusted my mental health to this ditzy valley girl. God, what are they even going to think the first time I open my mouth? Maybe you'll need to develop a professional wardrobe. Maybe adopt a different register. It's true. But Sylvia, you don't have superpowers when you switch modes. You're just more confident in using your talents. The ones you've used so far to such great effect. I don't know if I've been great. I know they're releasing the tea for sale soon. I can use that to help, but am I really going to be a snake for my clients? Are people going to accept that? We already know they will. You had lines around the convention hall. Yeah, no problem, Maxting. You do you. I hope you come back later for the VOD and catch the rest of this ending. I think it might be like 20 minutes off this pace, but take care. Hope you have a good day. Okay. Stretch the joints a bit. We already know they will. You had lines around the convention hall. That was a pretty specific case. All the same. Also, I can't help thinking, am I just changing myself for these imaginary clients? For you? Sometimes I worry that you prefer me when I'm in honey peach mode. But then I think maybe you'd be right too. I don't even know what kind of me I'm supposed to be. I held her hand. Sylvia, you've got a gift. You've got a gift with or without the tea. In honey peach mode and out of it. I know how fulfilling it is for you when you use it. You're just so persuasive and conciliatory. You know how to help people get what they need. That's a nice way of saying I'm manipulative. I suppose if you wanted to be uncharitable to the girl who can talk her way out of anything. She rolls her eyes at me. But I know how much helping people means to you. The look in your eyes each time you sent someone home better than they arrived. Let me know I wanted to live our lives together. Even if your eyes were rather reptilian at the time. She titters despite herself. And you don't have to change yourself for me or for anyone else. I love you whether you're your usual fun-loving, outgoing self, or when you're in your new, diligent persona. I love you when you're my big, powerful snake, and I love you when you're the girl I can snuggle up with in the armchair. They're all facets of you. I love every one of them. Sylvia's eyes well up. I'm not going to tell you what you have to do, but I know you're committed to this. And if you want to take a break by, let's just say, going shoe shopping, I'm sure you'd come back with renewed enthusiasm for your studies. Sylvia perks up. Well, I did see there was a sale happening right now. A little window shopping couldn't hurt. Especially with someone who can keep pace with me. I grin. Suddenly Sylvia's concerned whether there's a sale or not. Well, it's better be responsible with your money. Sometimes. I feel like there's more there to tease her about, but I'll hold off until later. Shall we? Sure, let me get my purse. Day 768. Just shy of 2 full years since this whole thing started. The snake shrink. I sit in the lounge in front of Sylvia's office as the end of her current appointment approaches. When setting up the space, she insisted on splurging on nice furniture for her clients as they wait for her sessions. She maintains, and I agree, that the client experience starts before they step into her office, and a comfortable, welcoming environment aids the healing process. The added benefit of being able to enjoy them myself when I visit is secondary, but welcome. They're nicer than the new furniture we got a few months ago. But not by much. Hey, it is Felicia. Hell yeah. Alright, we'll go ahead and take a full-on look. We cannot get her to do a spinny spin, but this does look like a fun outfit for spinning. I'm going by the color matching. I assume this is a big skirt with a cardigan over it. Very nice, especially paired with the tights. She's looking so much happier as Felicia than she used to be. Felicia, so good to see you. Oh, hello. Fancy meeting you here at your wife's workplace. She grins as if she's caught me. Merely a coincidence. Sylvia wouldn't forgive me if I asked about her clients. I guess I told you myself I was coming here. We're bound to run into each other eventually. Besides, if I really wanted to see you, it wouldn't be hard to find you at work. I suppose not. I always enjoy you taking the time to come back and visit, Maggie. My heart warms. You know, you're about the only person who always remembers to use that name with me. Of course. I feel like I, of all people, should be willing to learn new names for my friends. It's still appreciated. And I'll make sure to visit again soon. The cafe has just been keeping me so busy. Oh, of course. You must be tired running our main competitor. Felicia, please. Just because we're doing well doesn't mean you have to be worried. A little birdie told me you're doing better than ever yourself. Oh, he's much too tall to be a little birdie. I imagine you're attracting a lot of attention if you're coming to work like this every day. This is just for Furry Fridays. 20% off kimono tea if you're looking to have a fuzzy weekend, by the way. It has been a bit since I've had some. And don't worry, I've been doing great. I'm just teasing. Thanks to everything that's happened over the last few years, things are running smoother than ever. Sorry you two had to be the test subjects when I was still figuring out how to run a business and be, well, myself. Her regret is sincere enough to break through her cheerfulness. Water under the bridge. I'm just glad you're doing so well. Yeah, I've got a good crop of employees right now. I still miss the old days with the three of us at the store, though. I feel like I didn't appreciate the two of you enough at the time. Oh, Felicia, you're being too sentimental. For one, there was far less to appreciate about Sylvia back then. Sylvia peeks out the door. Oh, hey! That's a great look. She's got glasses now. Truly professional, somber color, but with still a nice bold burgundy, I believe. It's a very nice look. Sylvia peeks out the door. Maggie, stop bad-mouthing me in front of our old boss. I meant simply as an employee. You were just as charming back then as you are now. I don't know about just as charming. Tongue darts out from her lips for a split second. Why don't we set aside an evening for a girls' night out? Take the time to really reconnect. I'd love to. I promise to stop being your therapist for the evening. Would any day work best for you? Oh, I'm not sure. My free evenings have been taken up as of late. Lucas is, well, he's still taking me out a lot at this point. Ooh, I didn't know about a Lucas. Oh, yeah. We're still pretty early in the relationship. Or at least he's still acting like we are. Don't tell me you're playing hard to get with this young man. No, he's just really generous and affectionate. You'll have to kiss and tell over dinner. Tell him to keep his paws off you for one night. You've got old friends to catch up with. Definitely. I'll text you when I'm available. I look forward to it. See you, girls. She clutches the strap of her purse and waves as she walks toward the stairs. Nice that Felicia is getting a happy ending, no matter which route we take. Step into Sylvia's office, and she slithers back to her desk. What are you doing here, honey? Oh, I just thought I'd check up on you. Gavin's holding down the fort of the cafe. How's your day been? Don't think I'm asking about Felicia. She's worried enough I'm stalking her. It's been great, thanks. Everyone seems to be on a good upswing at the moment. I think one client might have had their last session. I only ended up using hypnotism for about half of them. See, what I tell you, you're a good enough therapist that you could drop the snake gimmick. The aesthetics certainly add a lot, though. It'd save us a decent amount on tea, at least. Come now, we're paying wholesale prices. Oh, before I forget, pull a bag out from my purse. We're not selling through the Pau de Cuejo as quickly as we should. Ooh, my favorite. She opens up the top to smell. I don't know why you don't sell out of them every day. They're the best thing you offer. There's no accounting for taste, I suppose. That wasn't the only reason I came, though. Oh, what's that? It's been more than 6 hours since I got to kiss you. She chuckles. You're one to talk about keeping your paws off your girlfriend. I'm not transformed enough to have them at this level. Maybe I'll make a request this evening, then. If you think you can handle me. Pull her into my arms, put one hand on the small of her back. We kiss, the very tips of her tongue raise my lips. I love you, Sylvia. I love you too, Maggie. When we let go, we see a nervous-looking young man standing in the door. I move to the edge of her desk. Oh, welcome. Can I help you? Yeah, I'm here for the hypnotherapy. Are you Sylvia Drake? Yes, that's me. You caught my wife visiting. Maggie, you wouldn't mind letting me help my client? He's paying for the full hour. Not at all. See you tonight, love. I get down from the desk and pass him on the way out. Treated to a quick glance from him for my troubles. You'll be in good coils. Shut the door behind me before Sylvia can chide me for teasing her client. Okay, let's just, take in this view too. It's just... I haven't played through all the routes yet, so I don't want to say best girl, but strong competition from Felicia's route. Just saying. And a reminder, I will not be playing Felicia's route on stream. My particularly favorite streamer, Braca, good friend of the channel, has already done so a while ago. But hopefully she still has the VOD somewhere that you can view. Or, worst case, get the gameplay yourself. It is just as well written as this one has been. And the scenes are particularly spicy, if that's what you want them for. Yeah. She turns to face her new client as she ties her ponytail back into a bun. So, this is your first session, correct? It is, yeah. And you're familiar with the type of therapy I provide? Yeah, that's sort of the reason I was interested. That's wonderful to hear. I hope the picture on the website prepared you for our meeting. Sometimes I can be a lot in person. Coils stir behind her. Oh, I've seen a few people who take that animal tea. Never a snake, though. She smiles. And as long as you're comfortable, we can begin. Yes, please. She turns her head down and closes her eyes. Most of what we do over our sessions will be typical conversations you'd have with any other therapist. But I have a special way of onboarding clients. She adjusts the glasses with the tip of her tail. When she opens them, her client can't tear his eyes from her gaze. Now, let's begin. Look into my eyes, won't you? Nope, we're not going to let that end. So if anyone wants to enjoy the hypno view here, if you're trying to get any screenshots to remember and perhaps tempt yourself to get the game yourself, do so now. I'll go ahead and take a long sip from my throat. Alright, long enough. Ooh. Some of that went down the wrong pipe.
there we go, the true ending for Sylvia's route. Wonderful as it is. Yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this. Let's see, what month? It's March. But yeah, you can expect the route for Gavin no sooner than May. Summon Switch did a wonderful game, but I'd like to take a bit of a break because this segment in particular, this route in particular took a long time. I did not expect it to take that long. I'm a little curious, because with how much room is taken up on the table with just these two endings finished, how are we going to fit both Gavin and Felicia? That's a question to be answered another time, another way. But for now, let's go ahead and find someone to raid out to. First, the BRB screen. Alright, need to reopen this window. Use the tab in case there's any preloaded. And go to Twitch. Alright, who's on this wonderful Tuesday mid-afternoon? Oceanics is doing art. Let's see. Pink is doing some chatting. Ooh. There is some ASMR with Teefy Weethy. Yeah. Because I've done some hypno ASMR today, let's go to Teefy. Oh, gonna need a copy paste here. There we go. /raid Teefy Weethy. Alright. So as always, thank you all for joining me, Tome Readers. This has been a particularly fun game of Iced Tea. I know I said it a couple minutes ago, but I'll say again, very fun game. Very much suggest playing it. Well written, well done, even if you don't want the spicy scenes. As always, I hope you guys are eating enough, drinking enough, getting enough sleep. Take care of your body so it can take care of you. Stay strong, even if you gotta live out of spite. Even if you just want to outlive one or two particular bastards in the US, do so. Because things are hard, and they're probably going to be harder yet in the coming weeks. But good times will remain. They will return, much stronger. Just need to hold out hope until then. And on that note, let's raid out. I hope to see you again in the future. Bye-bye.